Welcome over to the CrossFire podcast, where I was just alerted that at 9 o'clock we are evacuating immediately. No, we might not. We might. We'll find out later. This is going to be a hot show, guys. We got a great panel tonight. We honestly have so many topics. I'm telling you, I did CrossFire on Friday 3 years ago, okay? Maybe it was 2.5. Who the hell's counting? But when I did it, I said, you know what? That's the day of the week that seemed to work for me. But news always came out on Monday and Tuesday. Now news is breaking on Thursdays and Fridays. Games are coming out on Friday. Somebody in the gaming industry loves Mooch. All right, let's get to our panel. He's here. He's leaving abruptly at 9, unless he realizes that he can't. It's the Crap Gamer. Crap, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I am here, man. I am doing the show. Yes, it is wild. It's going to be crazy. I mean, stuff, breaking news, all that kind of stuff. It's good. It's good to see that the show comes out at a time when there's a lot of news breaking, a lot of rumors, a lot of cool stuff going on. So very exciting stuff, man. I'm happy to be here. So
I appreciate it, Crap, and we're going to go to you right after the intros. I'm going right to you with the headliner, because there's so much to discuss on this topic, everything from this year into what happened last year. And then I've got, he can't wait to chime in, so let me just let him have his spot in the sun. Xbot 448, how the hell are you tonight?
What's going on, people? What's going on? It's me, Xbot 448.
That's so good.
Guys, they are going to put me out of a job here. What is going on, chat? The reason why I chimed in, he said the headliner, and I'm like, which one? There's like 3 of them.
There are.
Mad news has dropped. I cannot wait. This is Friday Crossfire. Let's go.
Absolutely. And then I've got my paisan, who's hopefully bringing me a calzone from Florida, but the water's not right down there. Clowns, welcome back to the show. People miss you. How are you?
Hey, the water's fine.
We're sinking, Crap. I don't know what you're saying, but we're sinking.
There's no spot.
Shit show. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Nice,
Pleasure being here. Excited for the topics, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Clowns. And to be honest with you, there's a topic tonight that's got your name written all over on it, and I'll go to you as soon as we get to it. If hopefully we get to that thing midway through the show. Would you say, Xbot?
I said, Clowns, Mr. Twitch affiliate over there.
That's right.
Big dogging.
That's why I want to go to him on this subject. But that's later. That is later. Let me get to the man you guys know as Full Throttle himself. He's in Ireland, and he's awake for you. Alan Walsh, welcome back to the show, buddy. How are you tonight?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be on. What a week it's been. Sony has come. They've already won E3 2019. PS5 is coming. It's going to be the world's most powerful console. Microsoft's leaving the console business. What a week.
It's so good. Isn't that great? You can't even make this stuff up. Right. It is great. But Alan, you know what? I got to say, though, real quick, congratulations to Alan. And Crap and I have been saying this on multiple shows. Alan's site and his know-how and his name has been growing, and rightfully so, guys. Alan's an outstanding gamer, puts a lot of time and effort into the gaming industry. Yes, his forte is Forza, but nonetheless, the point of the matter is that, Alan, just really, really proud of your work, and I love reading it, so please do continue.
I mean, he interviewed Aaron Greenberg.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate it loads. And everyone's support. I appreciate it massively.
Just want you to know I'm a big fan, so I appreciate it, Alan. Glad to have you on the show. And then I've got my special guest here. He is a returning guest. Let me go to him first. You guys know him. He had his own podcast. Then he didn't. And now he does. Glitcher's back. Glitch, welcome back to the show. And then he didn't.
Now he does.
And now he does. Glitcher, how the hell are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back on Crossfire. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
I like that, man. That's late 80s, early 90s rock, baby. That's what that was.
I like that, guy.
Crossfire.
And a special guest tonight making his first appearance. He started his podcasting on the one and only Xbox Next podcast. It's his first time on Crossfire. We've got Knox. Knox, welcome to the show, buddy. And I told Xbot that I wanted to have you on the show because you got a great charisma about yourself. You know games. You keep up with the news. And you just got a great wit about you. Welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
Oh, my God. Thanks for having me, man. I'm great. As I do declare, I'm here with Crap Gamer and the Mooch, man, and the Xbot. Oh, this is awesome, man. This is a great panel. We got, Alan, the Glitcher, the Clowns. It's going to be great, man. And thanks for having me, Mooch, man. And I can't wait to get into these topics, brother. Let's do it.
Let's do it, buddy. Knox, you feel free to jump in whenever you want. We don't do roundtable. When you got something to say, you butt right in. And you're a New Yorker, so I know you're not bashful. All right?
New Yorker. Tri-state area.
He's drinking coffee with me.
Hey,
all right,
forget
buddy?
about it.
All right. Listen, guys, let's get into it. Listen, here's the thing. So Sony comes out. Well, I don't know if they actually came out, but it late breaking out of I don't know if it was what was the name of the actual publication? Crap, was it Variety? One of them came out and said basically,
I think so, yeah,
that Sony was not going to be at E3 in 2019. And to be honest with you guys, this kind of struck me just to hit my funny bone the wrong way. We got a lot of slack last year when we found out Microsoft was getting a smaller booth. And that was the end, right? That was the end of Microsoft.
You guys had a small
you know what? It was like Microsoft. Look at all that they don't have any booth size. You know that their booth is their floor space is smaller.
Right.
So Xbox done. That's because they don't have any games to show. Right. Like there was all this big to do about it. Seriously, Aaron Greenberg's like, you guys don't even know. Right. And then so they like have their own theater that they did their show in, and they still had floor space at E3, at the actual E3 as well. So the funny part about this is Sony doesn't have floor space. They don't have a booth. They're not doing anything. They're not doing their own show. They're not doing a direct. They're not doing anything. It's just like, hey, we ain't got nothing to show. And nobody should really be surprised by this, because if you look at what they said about why they canceled PSX, they didn't have anything. They flat out said it. We have no new games to show. Guess what? Between PSX and E3, they're not going to reveal any new games either. So what the hell made people think there was going to be new games to show at E3? Of course not. And to the people that go, oh, well, that's because they're working on PS5. Well, Microsoft's working on the next Xbox, and they're still going to E3, so that's not really an excuse in my book. Anybody that tries to swing any of that kind of stuff is just damage control.
Well,
the damage control is super bad. Like I've got a couple messages from like people saying, E3 is outdated anyways, like Xbox, or they're working on this, or they don't need to do E3. My ass, with Xbox, if Xbox would have pulled this stuff, they would have been like, oh, hey man, Xbox has no games. Well, you know what? Sony has no games. I'm tired of seeing The Last of Us 2 like 3-4 years in a row. Show us something.
Ellie's still playing that guitar, by the way.
Yes, and Joel's found a new peach to kick. Listen, the thing about it is, realistically, I think that we have to take what Glitcher said, what Crap said, and kind of add it all up. When PlayStation was sparse in their games in 2015, there was many publications that ran with or agreed with some of the other publications that said Sony is sparse and it's genius. This is a great move. And now you're hearing people come out in the media and they're saying that Sony not going to E3. Well, clearly E3 is on the decline, folks. That's not true. That's not true at all. And this is where, a lot of people go, there's no biased media. Listen, if you don't think there's biased media, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to talk you into it. But do me a personal favor. Every one of these publications that comes out now and says that E3 is on the decline, or Sony doesn't need to do this, or E3 isn't really the true way to reach your audience, those are the folks that now we're talking about. Now you can actually pinpoint them out of the mass group of the gaming media. These are the ones. Like, listen, we all know, a lot of people like to give Greg Miller a lot of slack. Here's the thing. Greg Miller comes out and openly says he's a PlayStation guy. So is he going to come out and do PlayStation damage control? Absolutely. He's the captain, okay? But nonetheless, when you've got that large of an audience, he's got to realize that a lot of people are going to disagree with those statements. So, this is something where you go, listen, E3, and a lot of people were trying to talk to me yesterday. Mooch, you have to understand, E3 is not really that big of a deal. It is, folks. It is, because, listen, the same reason.
The Super Bowl, man. What are you talking about?
That was my example. I said the Super Bowl. Why does Pepsi and Coke, why do they pay $25 million for a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl, right? Like, we don't know that they're the leaders in cola. We got it. But it's for knowing the product, getting the brand out there. E3 is when you have NBC, ABC, CBS, the main media in the United States. They do weekly shows out there. They have publications. They have people out there covering this. Why would you not want that exposure? It's worth the price of admission for just that alone.
It's the number one event in America for gaming. It's the only event. It's the only event that promises new reveals and things like that. So, no other event do you expect any kind of reveals. They're all just small potatoes. E3 is the event that everybody cares about, that everybody talks about. To be honest with you, it blew my mind that they did that they backed out of it. As a fan of gaming, it takes a hit too, because you look forward to all of it. I always look forward to, what they had to show, even the multiplats, because I knew that I was going to see them and play them, then they were going to look better on my X. So it's like it is that blow that you don't have that extra, company there doing anything.
But you know what, Crap, this isn't surprising at all, though, Crap, because that Sony is that brazen. They are the only ones that, and I've been saying this for a while, they are the only ones that can get away with things like this, and the masses support it. They always make excuses for them. We're talking about Greg Miller damage controlling. It is what the biased media does. Sony's fanboys do it. They all do it. Like it's mind-boggling to me.
The thing is, Knox, I'll tell you what Crap's kind of leaning on, and I got to agree. Okay, let's stop. Put the fan stuff aside for a second here. Sony not going there. I'll be honest with you, it kind of sucks. Like that, it sucks. And the same thing goes for Microsoft. And we were all kind of bummed out when Nintendo started doing these directs only. Realistically, what it is, I think Sony, maybe they're doing it for financial reasons. Don't give me this; they're too far in the lead. People who make money love more money. Who's selling on a Friday night? But realistically, I got news for you, folks. Don't tell me because they're in the lead, they don't want to get further in the lead. That doesn't make any sense. So my whole thing is this. Maybe it's for financial reasons. Maybe it's a large ticket item for them. I don't know the exact reason that hasn't broke yet. But it's just not a good thing for gamers overall. Go ahead, Xbot.
Nah, Mooch, to me, in terms of being a gamer, I loved having one event, Super Bowl-sized event, where you had all the companies there, and you're able to see, not only brand new stuff that they haven't announced, but games that might be coming out that year, all that good stuff. And to see people damage controlling, saying, well, this is a great idea. Sony doesn't have to do anything. They think they're bigger than E3. Actually, they're taking a shot. They're supposed to be so pro gamer and for the gamer and everything like that. You mean to tell me that they didn't have anything? Like, I know people were saying games like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 2, all those games were dropping in 2019. Now, if they were indeed dropping in 2019, don't you think they would have E3 and they would have those games there?
At the very least, why not have a booth and let the fans play these games at the booths, right? Like if you don't have to do you don't have to do an actual stage conference. But Nintendo, they do a direct, but they're there. They have a booth. People can play games.
But the thing is, how do you have a booth and allow people to play new games when you don't have any new games in the foreseeable future?
Well, they could still have, like whatever stuff they're partnered with, whatever the Call of Duty is going to be, The Last of Us 2, let people have a demo of that, or Ghost of Tsushima, or, whatever they have that they're going to put out, maybe a Shenmue 3. Like they have a handful of games. Like didn't one year Nintendo only had Zelda, but it was the longest line. You know what I mean? Like you could easily like at least have something for the players there to play. Indies, like they cared so much about indies, and now they just like kicked them out of the door. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's unbelievable, to be honest with you. So I am disappointed in Sony for one thing. I'm equally disappointed in the fans to let them get away with this, right? So the PlayStation fanboys, and not all of them, because there's some decent PlayStation guys that, they just like PlayStation, fine. But the ones that just let Sony get away with this stuff and just go, oh, that's okay. And they're so worried with what Xbox is doing that they don't really let Sony know if they're doing well or not. And then Sony just does whatever the hell they want. I warned years ago that they blew their load way early and it would catch up to them. And you can go, Crap Gamer was right, because here we are. Like it looks like the last couple of years, there's going to be incredibly dry. There's not going to be a lot of news. I mean, you might hear some.
No, that's genius marketing strategy. Crap, that's what that was. That was Sony genius marketing strategy.
Here's the thing, though, guys.
Some people a bridge that doesn't exist.
But Crap, I think some of those games. That we know that are still out there. Death Stranding, The Last of Us 2, Ghosts. Okay, these games. I think some of them might be ready to go by 2019, 2020. But we've discussed this on other podcasts. Let's bring it up tonight. I think the issue may be, because Sony realizes what Microsoft is going to launch with Scarlett, that they're holding those back. That's kind of playing a role here right now.
Dude, I think
they don't want to show those games if they're not going to release them for another 2 years.
Man, I was one of the first people, after E3, I was like, you know what? Those games, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm looking at the physics and everything like that, and I'm like, yo, that's not PS4 right there. There was The Last of Us 2, how they zoomed in just so fluently from swinging the axe to exactly seeing what the guy's face and his emotion and stuff like that, getting killed. I'm like, yo, this does not look like this generation. this looks like next generation. And I really feel that they had planned all along that like Ghost of Tsushima, even possibly Death Stranding, but I'm skeptical about putting it in the launch window. But The Last of Us 2, I look at those as launch titles for the PS5, man.
Well, shout out to Face 23, who's he's a Sony fan, but he comes every week, so I appreciate him in attendance. He says, Mooch, all jokes aside, Sony has stuff cooking in the background. Face, here's my only question to you: how do you or any of us know? That's the thing. Like,
hold on, let me say this.
That's not a safe out.
How come we can say Sony's got stuff cooking in the background, but you say that about Microsoft, and it's no, they don't. They're done. They're done.
They're brimstone if you say that.
Go ahead, Glitch.
No, I was just following up with what Crap was saying, because it's like everybody's like, oh, Sony's always got something cooking and everything, and like Crap said, when Microsoft says it, oh, they're done, they're trying to get out of the business, which is bull. Nobody wants to call it down the middle. Nobody wants to be fair about this shit. It's like, here it is, it's like, oh, they got the stuff cooking. Well, Microsoft can have stuff cooking too and be fine with it. So stop being so biased.
And that's it. And Crap's point and your point there, Glitch, are well received. The minute any of us, like Face, to be honest with you, real quick, if any of us on this podcast said, well, don't worry about it. Microsoft's not going to be at E3, but they got things cooking in the background. I mean, you'd have threads for days. You know what I mean? You know what Mooch said? Get a rod out of this. This is unbelievable. Like
that has already happened, Mooch. That's already happened. We've been saying, even Kraft's been saying it. You think that they got these studios? You think Microsoft got 7 studios that aren't going to do anything?
That's my biggest complaint, Knox. Look, I sit there and say, what are these guys doing? Playing tiddlywinks?
Exactly.
No, they're making games. God.
So Microsoft gets 7 studios. They're not doing anything with it. Sony bows out of fucking the next E3, and well, they got a great strategy going forward. You'll see.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Well, a lot of people are also saying, well, Mooch, you got to understand that Sony didn't reveal the PS4 or the PS4 Pro at E3. That has nothing to do with this. That's a small part. Even when they revealed the consoles, when Microsoft revealed the console, nonetheless, they still had other things they did on stage. It wasn't an hour and a half of just the console. So, I mean, the console, you know what? I'm the only one that saw this. So here's me, okay? Traditional Mooch, okay? Here was me. When I saw Sony wasn't going to go to E3 2019, see, when you reveal a console that year, you definitely want to show the hardware again. Whether the Sony had a separate event or not, like they did last reveal in February of 2013, then they still showed it off and showed things about it at E3. My point being is that now if there's not going to be a 2019 reveal at all, I think, and I could be crazy, that's fine. I might be wrong. I think the PS5 comes out in 2021 now, because now I think the reveal is in 2020 to show you what's coming in 2021. And you guys might go, that's crazy, Mooch. Go back to the Sony vice president that's linked in that article from a few months ago when everybody did videos on it. And he said, we're clearly 3 years away. And that's 2021. So I saw this and them missing it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe this bad boy's getting pushed an extra year. And this is something that Alan and a few other people alluded to that have been on the show. And they said, Microsoft is pretty much ready, and they're geared up and ready, and they're drooling for next generation. They can't wait for next generation to start. This generation's been I'm going to say an utter failure for them as far as what they thought. So realistically, they can't wait. But I don't think Sony wants this generation to end, A, and B, I don't think they're prepared for next generation. You see what I'm saying technologically, software and hardware?
Well, there was the rumor that came up today from the person who leaked that Sony wasn't going to have go to E3 next year ahead of that announcement.
Okay.
And according to this guy, they're going to do the reveal at PSX next year. That's going to be their thing. And then
so PSX next year's reveal. That's in December of 2019 then. Yeah,
and then it'll release likely holiday 2020. Which is the 25th anniversary.
That still holds water with the traditional. That's the traditional route that we both said both companies would launch. I just thought when you looked at that, what that Sony executive said a few months back, it was a blurb. It made it sound like it was going to come out. And then a lot of big YouTubers ran with 2021.
They told the investors to expect downward trends until 2021, I think, something, which would mean that possibly that's when they would start to see some money. To the guy in this week's trend, he says, what game does Xbox have for 2019? Just Crackdown? No. Crackdown 3, Ori 2, Battletoads, Gears 5. They got a nice lineup working next year, Yeah. Like we know what we're getting. And like
multi-plats.
Yeah, and so like that's cool. Like some people are going to try. Like it's funny to see how the goalposts will move, because next year Sony's only confirmed Dreams and Days Gone, which, I mean, Dreams is basically you know, yeah, it's Little Big Planet,
yeah,
which you know,
it's real cool. Sorry, I'm not looking.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I'm sure there's a small audience for that, but I'm just saying that's not a big deal. And then Days Gone, which people I think are excited for, but I think they're going to lose that excitement when this.
I'm excited for Days Gone. I know I'm probably the minority, but I am.
Well, no. A lot of people,
guy too, man.
A lot of people look forward to that, you know. But I think that that's a studio that's untested, unproven, especially lately, and the game just looks completely generic. And they showed the box art, and it looks even more generic now. So, you know, I think that, and I just think that game has like mid-60s written all over in terms of meta. I just don't think it's going to be good. So I think that when you look at next year, it favors Xbox in the exclusive area anyway. And you know, and I think so. A lot of people that's why it always doesn't really make sense, like, to go, oh well, you have no games, or you know, like, it always comes around, goes around. You know what I mean? Like, I remember Xbox dudes doing that in the 360 era. And I didn't really join in with that.
Right.
You know, because then it came back around. Once Donnie D started making money off Connect.
Donnie D!
They didn't make any new IP or any. It was like 2 exclusives a year.
That was a great tweet you had the other day, though. Crap, that was.
Oh yeah, that we have a console, dude. I was on there, but man, I like, come on, like, you got to.
That was Christmas. Christmas came early for Crap Gamer, folks.
Look, if you're gonna give it, you got to be able to take it too, right? And so the bottom line is, it's bad. And anybody that tries to damage control that. It doesn't take much to realize that the people that are most damage control and saying E3 is irrelevant, this, that, the other, were the same ones that were talking about floor space last year,
right?
And how it meant that, you know, this, we all hype up E3 every year, every one of us. And for Sony, like, seriously, if you're a Sony fan, you literally went from E3 last year, which was the same 4 games with the guy with the flute and the guy with the banjo,
which I feel bad for the guy with the flute, because now he's stuck in the unemployment line.
And then yeah, I mean, did Sony really think about the band that they were going to hire? I mean, they're out of a job now, right? I mean, what were we expecting that? There's going to be, like, you know, there was like a jug playing band or something next, I'm sure. But
I was
like,
looking forward to that, man.
Exactly. So basically, they showed the same 4 games that they had already previously announced before and shown off time and time again. And then they did like this little weird podcast between the first and the second show. You know what I mean? And we were all sitting there like, what the hell is going on here? So, you know, they did that, and it's like, you're like, okay, you know, that it is what it is. But so they go from that E3, and when's their next show? Are you December of 2019?
Yeah.
That is almost 2 full years.
It goes back to what we were saying earlier on, Crap, right? And the whole thing with being like literally the damage control. Like, why isn't anybody calling them out on this? Like, that's not acceptable for Microsoft at all. And even when Nintendo bowed out of E3, Crap, they've been doing every 3 to 4 months, they've been doing their directs. So they've been keeping their audience at least engaged, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why, Mooch.
Ahead,
because they're not Microsoft. That's why. That's why they're not being called to task. That's why it doesn't happen, because they're not Microsoft. That's why I said it in my latest video. Go check that out in Knox We Trust. Shameless plug. I said it. Sony can get away with things that Microsoft just cannot. They just can't. Only Sony can do. Like Crap said, like you said, like everyone in the panel has said. Had this been Microsoft making the announcement, oh, they don't got games anyway. Who cares? They're dead. They're dead in the water.
They died.
So Sony does this. It's they got something cooking. It's a brilliant marketing strategy underneath all of this. You're gonna see. Watch. What scares me about this is that people actually might follow suit. Like, I know people want to draw attention.
Dude, that's scary. Hell yeah.
Yes, people might actually follow suit with this. We see that Ubisoft comes out and EA comes out and they do their little private shows. They do them at E3, so that's great. But what about if they start wanting to just focus, you know, all the attention on their products?
Well, we happen to have a resident expert here because he's been there multiple times. Alan, listen, can you let the audience know? Because a lot of people don't know. They haven't been there. They read, they see, they watch on YouTube. But Alan, how important is E3 for any company that's in this world of electronic arts?
If you're in the gaming business, like, you have to be. I've always considered you have to be at E3 because all eyes are on E3. All the media's eyes are on E3. All the consumers' eyes are on TV. As you've said, it is literally the Super Bowl of games. And, like, when I was there in 2017. So that was the Xbox One X year. And like that convention center is bloody, it was packed. There was nothing about E3 dying. Like every year they increase the amount of people who attend the show.
Yeah.
The issue with E3 isn't dying. Let me tell you, there's actually an opposite issue. They need more space for that convention because they're
there you go, folks.
Everyone,
go ahead, Alan.
It's actually why Microsoft got the theater last year. It's almost more like a favor to the ESA. They were very supportive of Microsoft doing that because it meant they got to, kind of shorten. They got to reduce the size of their E3 booth but add the theater onto it. So you know what I mean? So it kind of spread out the audience a bit. It spread out where people were, and it just meant there was more space overall in the E3 convention center, and that was good for everyone.
I just want to point out something real quick because some people in the chat are like, oh, well, they can just show off this stuff anytime. I want to point out that that's true. They can, and they have, but they've still every single year for 24 years done an E3 conference, right? So when they showed off the PS4, right, back in 2013, February, they still did E3. You still did a deeper dive and showed more games and talked about what was happening, right? Because you're not going to be able to cover everything at your own event, no matter what it is. Same thing with Microsoft when they did TV, and then the E3 was all games, and people didn't care because they were so pissed off about stuff and didn't even pay attention for the most part, Yeah. And then when Sony did E3 the year that they announced the Pro, right, and the Slim, they did the separate event after E3. So you can't tell me that, they don't look, E3 is something you do, but they don't have anything new to announce. That's just a fact. Like everybody's like trying to, spin the wheel to come up with an excuse for Sony. Don't.
Yeah.
And they have no more exclusivity deals to announce either. So they can't milk that. And now what happens with that now, right? Like these third-party companies, they're going to want to show their game off.
Outstanding.
They're going to come over to Microsoft. They're going to have to, right?
Crap. He makes a good point. These companies have put a lot of money in. Sony's paid a lot of money for it. They're expecting their product to also be on the stage and blah, blah, blah. That means next year, does that mean that Microsoft's grabbed the majority of third-party games? Because I certainly, if I was a third-party game, I would love to make sure that my game is associated with the console of choice we chose, and they're on the big screen. This big screen means a lot. Right. It really does. So great point, Knox. I mean, Clowns, I want to hear what Clowns got to say.
I want to say something real quick, though. Props to Greg Miller, who absolutely is like, I don't know, the White House should hire him. Somebody should hire this guy because he does the most insane damage control for a non-PlayStation employee I've ever seen. And this is a big name guy. Like
that's a Sony wide receiver. That's a Sony wide receiver right there.
E3.
He did this long text, and he's like, the PlayStation fans are like liking it like crazy, and like, of course, Mooch is blocked, so he's like, Mooch goes, what did he say? And I'm like, man, it's just this wall of text, damage control.
Yeah, like what is this? Don't get me wrong. I watched Greg. I think Greg is fine. Of course, me and him, we had a discussion a long while back. I'll read
it to you, Mooch. It says,
read it, please. I've read it, but go ahead.
It says, in case you missed it, the screaming, hypothesizing on kind of funny games daily, PlayStation skipping E3 has blown my mind. It's bold, confident, and crazy.
Wow.
Hold on.
What the shit?
I think it means they're going to do their own event after E3 and come with Megaton after Megaton, culminating in the PS5. I think it puts all eyes on Xbox too. If Xbox can't blow everyone out of the water at E3, people walk away going, man, E3 sucked without PlayStation. I can't wait to see what they have to say at PSX. I don't read PlayStation not being as there, we're stretched too thin. I read it as, we don't need to share the front page of IGN anymore. It's a belief they have no competition, so why compete? Let the other brands battle.
Yo, check this out.
I'm not done. Of course, it could go the other way. E3 could be amazing, and people will be like, well, who needs PlayStation? But I honestly doubt that.
I doubt that. Of course you do.
Even if E3 is insane, there will be a constant thought of, but what is PlayStation up to? It's just so crazy. Like, it's not that PlayStation is going to be in the parking lot outside or doing an off-site thing. They're skipping E3. They're saying in so many words that PlayStation is bigger than E3.
Wow. And
with stats like these, aren't they? And he posts the stats of like the 86 million or whatever. And he says, and that's not Greg Miller, the Sony pony. Wow, he said Sony pony talking. PlayStation is on top by a lot right now. If they do nothing next year, no E3, no Gamescom, no Paris, etc., and just have one event to rule them all where they announce or tease the next box, everyone will be there. every mainstream outlet will be there, and they won't have to share their USA Today article.
Announced or teased.
But you know what? That's a shame that he actually put that out there, because I know what he's doing as far as the damage control and as the president of the Sony fans. But realistically, it's a disservice to gamers, because the one line he had in there, crap, that I think he was right, is people at the end of the night are going to be, what did Sony have? And I'll be honest with you, crap. We do what? We do about an 8 to 10 hour podcast of different shows, and we take a small break in between. But we cover the Sony show, we cover the Microsoft show, we cover everything in between for 2 days. We go like hog wild. And the audience,
dude, those are some of the best 2 days of YouTube, man.
They definitely are, Xbox. But my point is, and this is my point, that takes a little bit away from the gamers. It really does. Like, I genuinely look forward to Sony's show.
It is a slap in the face to the Sony fans,
it
right?
Is.
Like, look, we all as Xbox fans wanted more events from Microsoft. Sure, some people thought this PS or the XO was boring, but at least they're out there and they had some interesting things for somebody. You know what I mean?
And
like,
they didn't cancel it.
Yeah, everybody, like, whether you liked everything, like, I don't know a single person that didn't like that they announced they bought Obsidian and XL. Right? Or that they announced the Forza deal, or that we got to see some Crackdown for a change, right? Like, there was something for everybody there. Like, Sony is just like, hey, screw you guys. We're not going to talk. We're not going to show anything. We're not going to announce anything. And everybody's just like, oh, okay, because they're so big. Like, you know what the problem was with Sony with the PS3? They got so confident, so cocky. The same thing that happened to Xbox.
Yeah, they're
right?
doing it again.
Yeah, like Sony. If you don't see that as a
history repeats itself,
not
folks.
only that. But if you look at what's going on, right? So Sony allows a beta, quote unquote, for Fortnite crossplay. But look at all these other games that are coming out now that are doing crossplay, and Sony's still not in it. Right? What is that? That Paladins and all that other stuff just announced crossplay between Microsoft, Nintendo, PC, but no Sony. Like, and nobody, like, Sony thought that, hey, but if we allow the biggest game to do it, everybody will get off our back. And they did. Nobody's talking about that stuff anymore. Nobody's talking about that.
But this is not going to hurt Sony in the least. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a slap in the face to the console warriors and hardcore fans. No, but financially, it's not going to hurt Sony.
Well, you know what, though, clowns? Let me say something. Forget the console wars.
Yes, I disagree about the console wars.
I'm talking as a gamer, okay? And listen, a lot of 2018, I enjoyed a lot of this year playing PlayStation games, okay? And I'll be honest with you, I look forward to seeing Sony's conference, regardless of what goes on in the podcast world. I really do. And the fact that they're not going to be there is a slap in the face to gamers, I think. Let me just pay the bills real quick. Suicide King says, PlayStation is hitting a dry spell similar to what Xbox had the last year or so. Sony are scared of the criticism. Sony's taking their ball and going home. And you know what? Suicide, you have a point. He has a point there.
Can't really argue with that. Yeah, really.
Suicide is absolutely right. The difference is that Sony gets praised for it while Microsoft gets critiqued for it, and that's what's not right. And that's what I just can't understand.
And that's the bias that, you know what, that's why YouTube is so great. That's why a lot of people are here, whether they're Xbox or Sony fans. That's why you guys tune into your favorite podcast, because the problem is the gaming media, what used to be what it was 10 years ago, which we used to tune in for actual news, digging, journalism. Now all you have is opinionated shows. And I'm not saying that podcasts are any different, but realistically, at least podcasts come out and say, hey, we're opinionated. This is our opinion. We have a preference. It's okay to have a preference. I've been saying that for years when people said you couldn't and you had to all coexist. Nothing in life is coexist. Everybody has a preference, one over the other product. It's natural. It's a human instinct. It's fine.
Yo, Mooch, check this out. All right. I think we've all gone in and voiced our displeasure. At some point in time, we're going to have to flip the script now, because Xbox has E3 basically to themselves right now.
Yeah.
We're looking at Project Scarlett, around the corner. A couple other rumors came out today. This could be a huge year for Xbox, man.
Here's one thing you're not going to hear Mooch say. I am not going to go off on any kind of offensive and say that Xbox is going to blow the doors out. Listen, we've seen what Xbox does. We see how Phil likes to hold his cards close to his chest. He doesn't reveal anything about,
he needs to stop doing that. Yeah.
Right, unless it comes out a week later, he's not going to reveal anything. So I'm not going to sit here and say that Xbox.
Well, there's obviously
doors out.
Reveal. There's going to be stuff within that 18-month period.
Absolutely, crap.
There's going to be stuff that they're going to talk about, so I'm not too worried about that. But depending on what it is, I'm sure that'll be up for debate. I think we'll see the Ninja Theory deal.
Yes.
It's not like we're anywhere close to getting any kind of Fable announcement or anything, but we might get some Halo. I think that would be cool. Like all we saw was a little bit of that.
You're going to get a lot of Gears.
Yeah, probably. I mean, we'll get a Gears.
Well, Gears is going to come out next fall. I mean, that's announced.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a lot of Gears.
I would have liked to seen some. I would have liked to seen some at XO, but I mean, I guess it is kind of what it is.
Myself personally, I mean, if I can at least get a CGI or even just a title with their name, I want to see what the initiative's doing.
But Mooch, I want to give my opinion on
Go ahead, Clown.
So I think there's 3 reasons why Sony's not going to be there. One is because they got nothing to show because they always show everything too far in advance. Number 2, because they can't show the PS5 right now. Probably not ready to be shown. And number 3, it's probably going to save them some pocket change for flying people out there, setting up booths, sending out marketing and stuff, and they got nothing to show. So, I mean, in Sony's corner, it's smart of them not to appear if they got nothing to show, because if they did go with nothing to show, the press is going to eat them up.
Yeah, I agree.
But see, hold on. Sony's kind of like the stuff that they have done over this entire generation. Like, let's be honest, there are points in time they didn't have anything to show, and they threw together a CGI of a game that's going to come out 4 years later.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're just throwing together a CGI.
But they've done that a lot. And they can't get away with it.
And it's worked.
They got nothing to throw CGI for.
They do. They could. Hey, Knox, dude, you're talking about the team that put together CGI of Ellie playing a guitar for 4 seconds, and people are like, "Oh my god!" And as Mooch says, there's still people.
They're still clapping right now in that PSX theater.
Right?
Like, I mean, look, you have to please leave, sir. Please.
What did we see of Death Stranding for the first 2 years? We saw some weird CGI shit. Right? There was no footage to be seen. They could definitely do that. The reason why they can't is because they're not ready to talk about the PS5. And anything they would announce would be obviously for PS5 and not PS4, so they can't announce anything, So I mean, they are kind of that catch-22.
See, I look at this as an opportunity for Xbox because I went out there and predicted that 2020 is when the next Xbox is going to come out. Use E3 right now. You have the huge stage. You have everybody from the press there.
Yeah.
Show the new console. Not only that, show games running on it. If you're going to do an XO, then you can go more in depth on what you showed at E3. And that would be a great show.
I don't think they're ready for Scarlett yet. I don't. And that's a 2020 release.
But you don't think that they have stuff that they can work with going into 2020? Like, usually don't we see the unveiling, like,
you see it usually months before. Like, they did the PS4 reveal was in February of 2013, and the Xbox One was in May of the same year. I don't think you'll see any Scarlett a year before.
Sony is breaking tradition right now. I feel like they have developers that they can definitely have an awesome show unveiling new hardware. That's where I think they need to go. If Sony's not going to be there, you're going to have to leave the gamers there with their jaw on the ground. Like, holy shit, what did we just see? And if they do that, I mean, it's nothing but a positive for them
I like the sentiment you're saying. I just don't think it's
new
the console. Yeah, go ahead, Glitch.
I was going to say maybe like next year with the E3, maybe do a tease with the console, because not like the last year, but the year before, didn't they do that with the X? They're like, oh, hey, we got the S, and then here's the X, and then they just showed you the chip, and then
but it's same generation.
Here's the thing, right? I don't think Sony's or Microsoft is going to announce Scarlett or show Scarlett at E3. No. Reason being is you don't tip your hand too early, right? Sony's not going to show later. You can always adjust a little bit and then see what's up. So that puts Microsoft in a prime position to do what Sony did to them originally. Hey, Yobi Dren says, peace, love, life to the panel. I have a big feeling that the next gen is going to be similar to the 360 PS3 era. Panel, what launch titles are you hoping for the Xbox Scarlett and PS5?
Thank you, Yobi. Appreciate that. Crap, I was just going to read that. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing what Halo is going to be. Halo Infinite for me, it's got all of my attention. It's funny because and this may not strike a few people on the panel the right way, but I love Gears. I really do. And actually I miss playing Gears 4 as much as we were earlier in the generation. But Halo has got my attention again. And with them putting this the blood, sweat, and tears they're going to put into it with the new engine, that they are totally invested in Halo again. And that has me so excited. As far as the PlayStation side, then I want to hear the panel's thoughts. As far as the PlayStation side, I'm really looking forward to possibly like Ghost of Tsushima or Death Stranding as their PS5. I really still think The Last of Us 2 shows up last year of PS4's run, because that's the same thing they did at the end of last generation. And I just can't wait that long for The Last of Us.
It will. It's just going to be very downgraded from what you saw at E3. That's all I'm saying. It's that.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It'll probably be cross-gen too. They'll probably have a version on PS5, but it makes sense to have that on PS4 actually, because there's the 100 million install base or whatever the hell it'll be by that point. So you want to get the most out of you can, and then remaster it for the people in
That's great.
A year after,
sell it to them again. Sell it to them again. And
shout out to the A-Bomb real quick in the chat. He goes, I played Gears with Mooch. He's pretty quiet. Crap, a lot of people say that about me and you. They're like, these guys are so loud on the podcast. But realistically, you can't be like, hey, clowns, throw a bomb. Throw a bomb! You can't do that while you're playing a game. I mean, it just won't work out so well. So shout out to the A-Bomb. Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. Let me ask this much real quick. And shout out to Enrique, Basement Arcade Radio's here. Awesome. A lot of people showing up. Salty's here. Delilah's here. So many great people are in the audience. Can't thank you guys enough. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. All right, I'm yelling every Friday.
Slap it around. Share it.
Slap it around.
Slap it around. Throw it around. Guys,
slap it around. Share it. Let's go.
The E3 thing kind of ties in really well with this next subject, is what I like to call the infamous Game Awards. The Game Awards.
Wow. I completely forgot about that.
I like to think of the Game Awards as a 3-hour Sony commercial, but it is what it is. So maybe that's why Sony's not doing E3. They're going to be at the Game Awards. It is what it is.
Well, it is a Sony commercial. Come on.
It's a commercial for three hours. Crap. What do you guys think? I'll start with Crap. Crap, you're very opinionated in this. I saw your tweets going out all week. I know you're not a big fan of how they kind of executed the Game of the Years and how people are kind of defending this, that, and the other thing. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is just I prefer the way the Game Awards used to be, even when nobody used to watch, Yeah,
it's a weird situation because it's like he's always promises that he's going to fix things and make them better or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we're definitely paying attention to the feedback. We're going to do it differently. But then you watch, and then because he's like, we're going to definitely make it a point to announce the winners and that kind of stuff. And then you watch, and they're like on a little scrolling screen. By the way, these people won awards, and then it'll be like, here's a performance by some guy you don't really give a shit about. That's basically what happens. It's that sucks. And then and not only that, but who the hell is putting together these lists? Celeste for Game of the Year.
I remember you wrote me.
I said, what the hell's a Celeste? And I was like, it's like some indie 8-bit game or something, right? Like nobody's even heard of it, but it's in the Game of the, like, how is it? Monster Hunter. Like, I'm sure that's a fine game because I played it for a while, but that's definitely no Game of the Year material. Like, get those out of there. Put in Tomb Raider and maybe another game. Why is Spider-Man in the running for Game of the Year? That's like the most repetitive game I've played this entire year. It's oh my god.
Sony exclusive is why it's the game of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got like then the thing that pisses me off, they put Forza in the sports category again. Like that doesn't make
sports/racing.
Yes, that doesn't make sense. You got they do breakout game, college kid game, this game, indie game, VR game. But you got to put together racing with sports.
Yeah, you can't just make up shit categories.
They don't give like racing the proper treatment, and then like you have like other good like racing games that sometimes come out, and then they don't get like considered because there's no dedicated racing category. Right. Like this year, you had another great Formula One game not nominated because there's no racing category.
Yeah. Racers absolutely deserve their own category. It is not. I mean, yes, technically it is a sport, right? Like NASCAR and all that, right? I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in the gaming world, it deserves it. Should be best racer of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not slack. Because are you really going to put Madden to compete with Madden, NBA 2K, yeah, and Forza? I mean, come on, that's come on.
And then like they have like a bunch of esports categories, but it's always the same esports game.
How do you feel about that, Alan? I mean, this is something that you categorize in. This is your specialty. And every game seems to get its own slice of the pie in the Game Awards, but yet they keep throwing racing into this other category, which seems to belittle it. Do you feel like it's kind of lessening the genre and the category that you specialize in?
It definitely does. It makes racing feel like a subgenre of sport, which isn't the case. And like last year, if you remember when Forza 7 won Racing Game of the Year, they didn't make a big deal of it. They didn't have anyone up on stage. In the pre-show, Jeff Keighley's like, Hideo Kojima, Hideo Kojima, Hideo Kojima. Oh, yes, and Forza 7 is the best sports game. Hideo Kojima is in the audience.
Nobody loves Hideo Kojima more than Jeff Keighley.
Isn't that the truth?
That's the biggest bromance going, man. I want to see a game about those two cats.
And there's proof right there that it's biased.
You know,
right there, the Game Awards is biased.
Well, I definitely think it is, and I would like to see who the voting members are. I mean, is it the media as a whole? Is there a panel? Is it like the Academy Awards where there's so many people?
The way I understand it is there is a panel, and they account for most of it, and then the people vote, and they account for a part of it too, right? So, yeah, you know, I just
there's a panel of drunks.
Are you guys right? Are you guys gonna be watching this? I mean, is this something like Knox?
Well,
let me ask you, Knox. You're new to the scene. Knox, is this something you've watched over the years, or you're gonna?
My dude, I've been watching this since game trailers used to do their whole little stitch with the video game of the year awards, which I like better, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean, with Jeff Keighley, he's just a hater, my dude. He blew up the Xbox One X review. I don't even have to say more about that. He is genuinely a hater.
My bad, Knox. No, my question here is, when is somebody else going to step up to the plate and give the gamers a true award show?
Okay,
again?
so here's how it works. Who selects the nominees? Nominees for the Game Awards are chosen by an international jury of 69 global media and influencer outlets selected for their history of critical evaluation of video games. So yeah, that's how they do it. And then people.
Well, that's how they say they do it, but how they actually do it is like 17 dudes drinking 40s in a round table. Yeah, we're gonna continue our Xbox hate. Hell yeah, we is.
So here's how it goes. Here's how it goes. Like, you know how they make a big deal out of the voting, right? The winners are determined by a blended vote between the voting jury, 90%, and the public fan votes, 10%. So there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
So the public is swayed no matter what.
You're
All
screwed.
the voting we're doing is just worth 10%. Are you serious?
Yeah, we're 10% of the vote.
But we're 100% of the advertising for it. You know what I mean?
I will say this much. Let me so we just don't all just shit on it only. Like, my only thing I will say is, and crap, you've said this to me sometimes when we're watching. I mean, for crying out loud, like Telltale won 1 year as best game.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
And don't get me wrong, that's probably Telltale's finest, but that doesn't necessarily mean they won
season 1.
So my whole point being is that they have picked some winners where people scratch their heads. I think Overwatch won 1 year.
I remember that.
All right, but throwing PUBG in the Game of the Year category
that was ridiculous.
That was just blatant. That was
even Xbox fans thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but it gets better this year, man. Best esports coach. I mean, come on.
What is
Wow,
that?
I mean,
what the hell's an esports
Wait,
coach?
there's an esports coach?
That exists?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There is. You know, I wanted to actually say earlier that like, I think it's cool that they have esports categories, but my issue with them is they always focus on the same types of games, you know, League of Legends, Overwatch, those kinds of games. Like, you see Microsoft, who are doing some really, really, really fantastic stuff in esports, especially with Forza RC. They're leading the charge in racing esports. You also got Halo doing esports. You got Gears of War doing esports. But none of that's recognized. None of it's recognized at all.
It's not Dota or whatever, right? Or
it's not Dota or anything.
The esports that they cover is only PC, I think, right? Like, for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. And like, they should be using this as an opportunity. Like, if the Game Awards is about celebrating games, then why aren't we celebrating these great initiatives? Because, you know, they could do it more exposure, but instead they promote things that everyone already knows about.
Well, you know what, Alan? And I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you know what? In EXO, mouse and keyboard support, right? Those games can come straight over to the X or to any Xbox platform. You know what I mean? Like, they can just come right over. Everybody can embrace those games. Nobody's talking about that. They don't want to.
Yeah.
They don't. You know why? It's not Sony doing it. And that's what sucks ass.
Oh, that not only that, I just don't think a whole lot of people are interested in a mouse and keyboard support.
Why? I love playing MMOs, real MMOs, not Destiny.
I think the keyboard and mouse thing,
shooter.
The debate we had years ago where it was going to infiltrate and take away the competitive nature of controller versus, I think that's going by the way the dodo bird. We know that that's not going to happen. I kind of agree with Knox. I'm not one of those people. I really don't care for RTS types of games. But if you like those types of games and you have an Xbox One,
yes,
the fact that now you can put a wireless LG keyboard on your coffee table,
yep,
and play the game with a cup of coffee or an adult beverage the way you choose fit.
It's a freaking big deal.
It adds up a series of games to your portfolio. And as far, you got to remember something, Phil and these guys get on with their members jackets and they try to act cool for a little while they're on stage for 2 hours. But realistically, they've got to add things to their portfolio so it adds more butts in the seats as far as gamers. And to be able to do that and lock in all the people that like RTS games, that's great for them. It really is. It's great it's great for you. And me and Crap have been very vocal. I know. I can even speak for him. That's not his bag, baby.
Well, here's the thing. Microsoft
to have in your portfolio.
Yeah, Microsoft likes to do these little announcements that they sound good for the media. They're Microsoft is adding this or this, but for the most part, we're all just like, cool options. You're the option or whatever, but for the most part, nobody uses it, right?
Yep,
right.
Like I don't think.
But weren't people pissed off about Gears Tactics, right? People were pissed off, right? With the if Xbox is everything, right? PC's Xbox is So with mouse and keyboard support, if you wanted to, and always giving an option, you can now bring this to Xbox, and we don't have that problem. It's not just going to be a PC exclusive, because if you feel comfortable with a keyboard and mouse, you're going to be able to play that on the Xbox with a keyboard and mouse. If you of course, always provide controller support because that's your bread and butter.
See, the thing is though, Knox, I think that the reason why some people get annoyed by that is I don't think that Gears Tactics or Age of Empires are going to have a controller option. I think they're only going to be keyboard and mouse option.
Possibly.
And that's really kind of, that's going to be like a cheap way of them getting around that whole, you're not putting it on Xbox, right? So, because everything that does come out on Xbox goes to PC, everything, even Sunset Overdrive today, right? They're like, hey, as Xbox fans, how long since the damn Xbox One X come out, we asked for a 4K enhancement on that game, right? Yep. We got told, nope, can't do it. Nope. Somebody obviously ported this thing to PC and Steam, right?
Absolutely.
To Windows and Steam, but you couldn't, but there's no update for us. They didn't announce any kind of update for us.
Yeah.
So wait, so there's no X enhancement, right? Crap on the
none that they announced today. No
X. No X.
I checked it. I downloaded it just to
listen.
check
I'm pissed off on another front. It's not even that. What gets me upset is this. Okay, Crap has a PC. I have one. I believe Clowns. There's a few people here, right? Alan. My point being, Glitch. We bought Sunset Overdrive. This is a game that was published by Microsoft. Why is this not a Play Anywhere title?
We bought it at full price at release, and now they expect another $20.
I'm not buying it on PC.
I'm not either. I'm going to get it if it was Play Anywhere. By the way, if anyone's wondering, the PC port was done by a studio called Blind Squirrel Games.
What's their pedigree, Alan? They have any history? I was like, never heard of you.
I never heard of them before.
Weren't they the ones that did BioShock remasters?
That would at least give them some credibility, Clowns.
I know Microsoft published this.
I think they are.
I know Microsoft published this.
Don't you think, let's put our feelings aside. Don't you feel this should be a Play Anywhere? The Xbox is PC and PC's Xbox. Isn't this bullshit?
Isn't Play Anywhere usually when stuff launches though?
No.
Well,
here's my thing. Rise of the Tomb Raider is Play Anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's published. The whole idea is that Microsoft published it. This is a published game by Microsoft. Why don't we get that game on PC for free? Regardless of how you feel about it, I think that's something we should have.
I mean, do you think they could be doing this to see how many people will go ahead and buy it on PC to gauge if a part 2 would do good now?
Why would you gauge it for PC and not the Xbox? Like Xbox would definitely be the main selling force behind that. 4 years later, this thing's going to do horrible on PC. It's not going to sell well.
Listen, I hate that damn game. I think that game.
You didn't like it, Knox?
I did not.
I really liked it. It wasn't one of my favorites. Like, it's not my top 3, but I mean, it's up there.
When you touch the ground and you're walking in molasses, this is just not my bag.
Yeah, I understand that.
But you know what? It has a great following, a huge following, and I think Microsoft already knows that. You know what I mean? Like, they all know that. Insomniac knows that as well. So it's not like you have to gauge anything. I mean, let me say this,
Knox, here's my thing. I made this pitch a while ago. I kind of felt the same way you did. I loved everything about Sunset Overdrive in the air. I didn't like how when you were on the ground, they made everything was desolate, very boring, and then they swarmed you real quick, and usually you died if you stayed on the ground for too long. And don't get me wrong, they designed it that way. I get it. If you make the world a little bit more full, a little bit more going on, I thought the writing and I thought the artwork was absolutely probably one of the most breathtaking, funny things to play in a video game this generation. It was an absolute pleasure to play the game. But yes, I agree with some of the things you're saying. This is something where I don't understand why Microsoft doesn't want to get back into bed with Insomniac Games. You had Ted Price come out and say that they were just waiting for the green light, waiting for Microsoft to pick up the phone.
No, Microsoft should definitely do it.
It's a household name right now. Yeah, why not?
And they can make it. They can make it a big thing. There's absolute potential for that franchise. There's no doubt, bro. It has its following. What I would like to see is freaking Rise. Just a sequel to Rise is all I want ever.
Listen, if anyone's listening and they're going to do a sequel to Rise, do me a favor, please. All I ask is for a first-class ticket up first and a flight to Redmond. There's a lot of things they got to do to that game to make it right. And I think what they need to do is take Rise and they need to blend the elements of Castlevania. Take those two games together and make a real good game.
Lord of Shadows.
Yes. Blended Castlevania. Oh my God, that game.
Lord of Shadows.
Oh, well, I'm a Castlevania nut, but that's going into the history of Mooch, and that's a whole nother episode. Listen, let's move on to this, guys. I'm glad you guys kind of went into Sunset Overdrive. I did have it on my list, but I got a concern here, and I've been saying it with crap for a while. You guys that follow me on Twitter all see my gifts I send out with the great Jimmy Stewart avoiding a plane of crop dusting. Battlefield 5 Deluxe Edition, not the regular edition that comes out on Tuesday. The Deluxe Edition released yesterday. And boy, you wouldn't know it. You would have no idea that game came out yesterday. I said this a few weeks ago, and I got absolutely beat up on the panel when I said I think Battlefield, the game itself, is on the ropes. Because they got the sales numbers, but they just don't have the consistency, and they don't have the gamers that hang out in the lobbies. What do you guys think about Battlefield 5? Now, I want to say a shout out and thank you very much. Thank you to Sir X-Man for the copy of the game. He gave me the deluxe edition I can play this weekend because thanks to him. But realistically, I want to say this to you. Where are the folks playing Battlefield? I don't see anyone buying the deluxe edition. There's nobody playing it right now. Not the amount of. There's still people playing Red Dead.
Two words, Mooch. You're right.
I've been playing.
Thank you, clowns.
No, he's not right. He's not right.
He is right.
I've got lots of people playing it. You're talking about, the problem is you're just talking about early access people. That's not the be all end all. A lot of people waiting.
Early access on Forza 4 was through the roof.
You're talking about Forza 4 though, but you can't just go off your friends list, which skews to things
you like. It's not my friends list.
You hate Battlefield.
It's the internet.
It's not dude. This game is going to be fine.
Was going wild when
lots of people. Look, I have it installed, but I just have the regular edition. I don't have
that game is going to do horribly.
I think it's going to do extremely well.
Well, wait, it's going to do great as far as regular title scrap, but it's not going to do well in Battlefield numbers.
That didn't even make it on the Game Awards.
That shit should have dropped December 20th. It should have dropped December 20th.
Probably. I think it'll be fine. Look, we got people in the chat saying they're playing some Battlefield. Good on you guys, man. Good on you guys.
Right there, surprise attack. There it is. I bought it, Mooch. Just haven't played it yet. I played Spyro. That's my evidence right there. The defense rests.
Well, he could just have the regular edition, like me. You know what I mean?
He said he hasn't played it yet.
Mooch.
Gotta wait till the 20th.
Either.
When it comes to Battlefield, all right, let's be real here. There isn't a huge difference between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. It's something we're talking about.
Agreed.
As far as the game being on the ropes, do I think this game is going to sell incredibly? No, I don't. But I don't think the franchise is on the ropes or anything like that, because when they come around, and do the next Battlefield, if they bring it up to modern times and get into that whole thing, then you got everybody back from like Battlefield 4 and everything like that. People are going back into that game. So it's not.
Listen, okay, everybody gave Call of Duty a lot of shit, and I defended Call of Duty. And now you have Battlefield 5 comes out with their, in air quotes, folks, okay, campaign, which is 3 to 4 hours long, and I heard it's a bloody mess.
Hey, hold on. First of all, the campaign.
Call of Duty is ass too, because Call of Duty don't even have a campaign, so 3 hours means no hours.
In my opinion, they didn't need one.
Hey, these campaigns, they definitely needed one, especially the way they screw you out of the achievements, even on the multiplayer. But the campaigns have always been a way just to kind of pick up and learn the ins and outs of the game. Right, you learn how the guns fire. You learn some, you know what I mean. That's what they're there for. They're supposed to be there for that. Also, there's multiple different campaigns. There's the war stories, then there's also the co-op stuff, and then there's a variety.
You might be really bummed out though, crap, with this Battlefield 5 campaign.
Dude, I don't. Here's the thing: I don't like the Battlefield campaigns. They've always been really bad. They're nowhere near the quality of the Call of Duty campaigns.
Yeah, God bless you for saying that. I think they're both terrible.
I agree.
I've never finished a Battlefield campaign. They've all been bad.
I finished one, and it was painstakingly.
You know what? I'd almost need somebody in the super chat to give me money to finish it. I couldn't do it. Even then, I had to refund their money.
I mean, I was playing the beta for like a couple hours messing around with the story, and I will agree, man, like about half hour in, I'm like, nope, going to multiplayer. I'm done.
There you go, Glitch. That's what I'm saying. These single player campaign games and Battlefield, that's why Call of Duty is still the trendsetter. They saw the writing on the wall. They're like, nobody's following Captain Stu Nuts for 7 hours.
That's not true. You must not have read where the guy leaked that they were working on a co-op campaign.
Yeah, I know they are because of all the backlash. My God, God forbid you do anything different. The internet
No. Dude, this was a guy who worked for Treyarch, said they scrapped it in 2017 because they couldn't get it done. They had a co-op campaign. The game doesn't make sense. It's like Titanfall 1 where they're telling this story through little clips. What are they, mercenaries? I would love to know what the hell they are, but nobody knows. You know what I mean? Like, so
I would like to ask the guy from Treyarch. I'd be like, well, that's interesting. That's really interesting. By the way, sir, excuse me. Is Black Ops 4 selling like gangbusters? Oh, well, yes, it is actually. No shit. No shit. Because nobody gives a shit.
Now, it's a Battlefield campaign that was good was Bad Company 2. Bad Company 1 sucked, but Bad Company 2's campaign was stellar. I did beat that and thought that was really good. Also, the Medal of Honor games, the two newer ones, the two last ones that came out, I think Warfighter and the other one had fantastic campaigns. I absolutely, I couldn't stand the multiplayer. Loved the campaign on that. Just like I liked the campaign on that first game where I forget what the hell it was, where they attacked us and they overhear sort of like Red Dawn. I forget what the hell game it is.
Wait, give me a little bit more of a. Give me a couple of hints here, Crab. I apologize.
There's a sequel that's on the X, but it's made by a completely different developer and completely different game. So I don't know. I have to look it up. I don't remember what the hell it was.
Well, Lady Foxfire's in the chat, and she says, I played Battlefield Beta, Early Access, and a little bit of the Deluxe. Lady Foxfire, have you played it? If you can, in the chat, could you just say if you've played the single player
it's called
and your thoughts? Oh, Homefront, yeah.
Homefront. Oh, that's
the campaign. The multiplayer was really good on the 360 version.
Well, it was okay. I bought Homefront. I bought Homefront on the 360 version on launch night. I went to the midnight release crap, and when we got home, the servers didn't work, so that didn't really go over so well with me and my buddies. But my point being is, I think Homefront, the story, that's a different situation, though. I think Homefront puts a lot of time and effort into the single player, and they have a multiplayer also. Battlefield and Call of Duty, let's just stop with the bullshit, folks. Okay? They're multiplayer games.
Quit throwing that Call of Duty thing in there, right? Like, look, I'm honest with you, right? Like, somebody gifted me this one or else I wouldn't have got it. I enjoy just the regular multiplayer. Yeah. But the fact that they screw everybody out, like, if you look at even the achievements on that, 0.003 have any. Because they put them for ridiculous things in the zombies mode, right? Like, it's ridiculous. You get nothing for prestige.
I know you keep saying, Crap, you do a great front. You're like, I don't really care about achievements. But goddamn it, give me some goddamn achievements.
Well, look, if you're playing,
I don't care about achievements. I'm talking about the game itself.
I'm just saying, and the game itself is decent, But again, you can't just keep putting out a shell of a game like that. Eventually, people are going to catch and not going to want to buy that.
You know what? To a certain degree, Crap, I know where you're coming from. I'm not going to say that you're wrong as a whole, but realistically, Call of Duty.
People aren't going to pay $100 to play multiplayer only shit every year. They're not.
Especially when it sucks. It's the same repetitive. It's the same freaking repetitive multiplayer.
He said, especially when it sucks.
I got news for some reason.
Sucks ass.
Shout out to Punk Kiddish that's in the chat. I've been playing so much fucking Blackout. I'm having a field day. And friends of mine that have left the Call of Duty series are back for Blackout. So all I'm saying is this: even though I do pick up what Crap's putting down, I really do. And I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'm not. I can just say this much. Maybe it's just fluke. It's just luck. But like they struck lightning in a bottle because Battle Royale is still a hot subject. It's still a hot game mode. And Blackout, now they got all the – I don't know if you guys have played, but I've played quads, solos, and duos, and it's smooth as butter. And it plays fantastic, and it's what we've always wanted in a Battle Royale.
PUBG's still better in my opinion, yeah. When it comes to Battle Royale,
go ahead, Xbox.
When it comes to Battle Royale, here's the thing, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'm never gonna be the type of person to be like, "Oh, you're having fun with that? How fucking dare you?" Like, no, I'm never gonna be like that. But when it comes down to it, the strategy that is in PUBG, I know people want to pick up the game, they want to go through the game, they want the game to be quicker. That's what Black Ops gives you. But I like the strategy, especially in solo. When it comes to PUBG, I have a blast playing that, man.
The thing about PUBG is it still feels a bit too well. Coming from Blackout now and going back to PUBG, which I've done recently, PUBG feels just even more clunkier than it did before. It just feels clunky.
All right. Blackout feels like the McDonald's of Battle Royale.
Like, you mean the largest burger chain in the world?
Well, here's the deal.
Yes.
There's millions of people in there playing it, but at the end of the day, the ingredients and the substance of it it doesn't compare to other dining establishments.
But you know what? That's a great. I like where you're going with that, Xbot. I really do. But at the same time, they still have 2 drive-through lanes that are chock full out in the traffic every lunch. My point being is that if that's where the people are, that's where people go. And when you're talking about a game that really relies on people, that's where I want to be.
All right, but here's the deal.
People are. That's where I'm going.
Here's the deal. So we call Black Ops McDonald's. I'll call PUBG Wendy's. There's still people there. There's still a ton of people there, and I'm still enjoying what I am consuming as a gamer.
I would rather you said that they were White Castle. All right,
John. Dude, I traveled to New York for White Castle before, all right?
They put holes in the burgers, and I got a problem with that. Here's my whole thing, right? I don't like that. You're chipping me on my ground beef. I got to be honest with you guys. I think I think Blackout has done something revolutionary. And Crap, we've had amazing discussions and debates over the past couple of months that Blackout, let's be honest, Black Ops 4 could have been an utter disaster. Could have been a disaster. And for some reason, people are digging it. And there's no campaign to be found. And I'm not saying the campaign's not coming back. It probably is. But realistically,
that's alarming, though. Like you're saying, it could have been a disaster. And it's like, well,
but it shows you how irrelevant the single player is in that game.
No, it just shows you the ADHD mentality that all these gamers have now. That's what it shows you.
Well, I don't think you
did well.
Wait, say it again, Glitch.
I'm just shocked that it actually did well because I thought this game was going to fall flat on its face.
Right, and most people did, Glitch. I was like the only one over there waving a flag by myself.
It should have. It's ass.
The reason why, the only reason why it's doing well, you have the Blackout stuff, which again, that could be a fad that fades into oblivion. And then you also have the fact that the Black Ops name carries something. But the reason the Black Ops name carries something is the story was always good. Well, except for the third one, but the whole Mason thing was awesome. Right. They always up the ante by giving you more and more content. Right, the first Black Ops was cool because it had there was some Easter eggs in it. You could play. Whatever the hell that one game is, when you get up you wiggle out of the chair at the beginning, you get up and play that game. You could also play like this coin op, twin stick shooter zombie game. It also had the zombie game with it, right? Yeah. Like everybody loved that. It was awesome. It was
great.
It had a killer campaign. The whole Mason story arc was awesome.
Yes.
Where you went back. It was like World War II, Vietnam era, Rolling Stones music. You know, it was cool. The second one was cool.
You're right.
Yeah, the second one was cool too, man. It was like it took place back in the back in time, and also in the future a little bit. It's cool. Like people like that kind of stuff, you know. And then the fact that now it's just like there's a story there to be told, and they aren't. You know, even if it's 15%, you got to keep your you know, you got to be able to keep your audience happy entirely if you can. So the fact of the matter is, you read this guy who used to work for Treyarch got fired or whatever. They had like what 6 missions done or whatever. It was co-op. It was going to be awesome. That sounds awesome to me. Yeah. And they scrapped it, and then the last minute went with Blackout. For me, man, just a shooter only, without the campaign, and then they don't let you buy the maps independently either.
Right.
You know, it's just weird, and the whole setup is weird because unlike other Call of Duty games, like everybody's got the same damn emblems and everything. I mean, I guess you can sort of make your own, but it's like in previous ones you used to be able to unlock stuff in the crates, and now it's like they don't even do that. You can buy like these weird tier things. It's weird. It's just, you know, weird. It's funny,
Crap, and I agree with you. And I think both Battlefield, and this is weird too, right, Crap? They both had a 2-3 year cycle, and both of them effed up their single player, and both of them effed up some of their multiplayer. Isn't this weird how they had this much time? I think they were both trying to do something ingenuitive, and they both failed. And I think that's now we're seeing what they both came out. Wait, they still have to put out a product. So they gave us the best they could do with the time allotted. That being said, let me ask this to you guys. This was a debate on that I got into. Shout out to Noof Nukem. Boom, boom, kaboom. He's probably in the room somewhere. Shout out to Noof and a couple guys. You know, Crap, there's rumor that Xbox is going to announce a disc-less console.
Bring it on, brother.
And I think that myself personally, I say bravo. I don't have any issue with that. I can see more and more of people that I know personally and people I see on the internet going digital. Also, if they're going to make this thing as cheap as we might think it may be, that this may be something you guys put in your bedroom or not in your main entertainment area. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it is a console that you're going to put up in your room, this is not where you want to have physical discs where you go downstairs to your other one and bring it up there. You know, I forgot where I left this one. Let me see. Oh, maybe I left it downstairs. It's nice to have your digital library in your access in your room. You turn on your TV, bang, your Xbox is ready to go. I don't have a problem with this, but I saw a lot of controversy online. Crap, what do you think about a console that has no physical capability to it? It's all digital all the time.
I think it's kind of price. I think it's sort of pointless at this point, especially to do an S. To be honest with you, I think that it probably pisses off places like GameStop and Walmart. You know, I think that it could have ramifications later on down the road. You know, here's the thing: like Brad Sams gets some stuff right, he gets some stuff wrong. Remember, he said that they were working on like a Fire Stick thing a couple of times.
A stick, yeah.
He said they were working on a a discless or a mini Xbox 360 mini, and it's like so he said, and he was honest. He said, you know, they could cancel this. We don't know. The thing is, it's like the trade-in program doesn't even make any sense, right? So who would trade in your Xbox One with a disc drive for an Xbox One without one, right? Like even if you're all digital with one with the disc drive, why the hell would you trade it in? Like it makes zero sense, you know? So like there's a lot of things that I'm kind of iffy on in this whole thing, right? Like a lot of it doesn't really add up. Like why would you announce that next year? Like that doesn't make sense. I can understand revising your console a bit to save some money, but they pushed this whole 4K narrative. You know, play your things. That was a whole thing. Like we got Sony beat because you could do 4K, you know, Blu-rays and all this kind of stuff, right? And now it's like, can you? You know what I mean? Like, so they're trying to cut out like some of the things to get to save a buck or two. You know, I mean, to me, it doesn't really make sense, especially if you're doing some kind of streaming thing that was going to be cheap too. Like,
well, that's what makes me wonder. Crap, are they not doing that?
I mean, they obviously are.
So is the streaming thing going to be this box that we're talking about that's got no disc accessibility?
I don't think so.
No, this is something different. The way he makes it sound, it sounds like it's something different. So.
This is going to be an option to take advantage of that streaming stuff.
I think here's the thing. I think this is what Microsoft's saying at this point. Crap. You know what's nice about them offering this? None of us need it, and you said it yourself. My point being is that if none of us need it and we don't have to go get that right now, it's an option. What it does is it kind of it puts that idea into the wild. And I was saying this so many times. There's so many people that are like, if you're getting rid of physical discs, I'm out of gaming. Well, answer me this, folks. If you're one of those people, do you have Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Amazon? Do you have any of these things? If you have any of them, then you really can't say that comment, because all of those companies put other companies out of business that had physical, like you had to walk into a brick and mortar and buy something. So my point being is that we are leaving what we thought was what we used to purchase, and now we're moving into a new era. Myself personally, I really dig the digital era. And I love brick and mortar. I really do. I do. I still go to GameStop. I do. I go in there. I make certain purchases. I don't buy any consoles off of Amazon. I buy them all off GameStop. I get my credits, my points. You get free games for that stuff. But my point being is, at the same time, I love my digital downloads. I love the games digitally. I have my Xbox upstairs and downstairs, and wherever I go, bang, I'm playing the game. I'm playing it. My save loads right away. Done. So, I mean, realistically speaking, I think this is where we're going, and this is Microsoft's way of saying, hey, we're not forcing it on you guys, but here it is. And then the next generation, when things become more and more like that, maybe Microsoft's like, maybe they won't like attack us like the last time we preached something that they ended up taking in later on.
The main thing is people, you'd probably be surprised to learn that physical music is still the #1 seller over digital and streaming, right?
Not by a landslide anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter, but
it does matter, actually.
No, it doesn't. We've had streaming.
No, it does.
No, Mooch. It doesn't fucking matter.
We're going to the
Let me
right
explain to you why it doesn't matter.
If
because
the number's decreasing, it matters.
Listen, they're okay, but you're not listening to what I'm fucking saying. What I'm trying to say is that people have been saying it's the death of and this has been around for a lot longer, and yet it's still around. Right. You still have to offer it. So 15, 20 years, you still have to offer people who bought a fucking
There's
disc.
records everywhere. But listen, my whole thing is this. Like, my whole thing is that we are leaving the era.
Sure,
it doesn't matter what you're saying.
You still have to offer people.
Yes, there's still records. There's still record players.
If you are still selling people a fucking disc, a physical disc, and touting backwards compatibility, you cannot take away the option for that.
So let me give you.
But you gotta go in a cave. You gotta go to a cave to find the guy selling it.
Listen to me. Crap. Let me agree with you for a minute. Let me give you the logical answer. We're still going to the right. Maybe you're turning your calendar to the left. We're turning it to the right.
I'm not. I hear you, dude. I hear what you're saying.
I'm
just saying
but hear me out.
You cannot get away with it.
You can have an external physical device that plugs into your USB. You go buy a laptop or a computer right now. They don't come with a disk drive. You have to buy an external device. So what I'm saying to you is you're not wrong, but you're wrong because you have the physical device, but you're going to have to buy an external device eventually to use your physical hardware. That's just the way it is. And if you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. That's a you problem.
I hear what you're saying because you're talking about PC where it made no sense to do physical for the longest time.
Xboxes and PlayStations are PCs. We're going that way.
They're not though. I get what you're saying, but you're saying going, but you like basically it's not happening within the next 20 years that they're going to do that. You know, this is
20 years. 20 years?
Yeah.
In 20 years, you're going to have a hoverboard.
That's happening like in 3 years, dude.
It's not, dude. So you think there's not going to be an option for a disc drive in 3 years?
No. There is going to be an option for this.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, 3 is different than 20.
Only to install the media. It's going to be to placate the people that only want physical.
You're going to be able to use your physical device for a while.
Let's look at this real quick, okay? We're in 2018, right? We've got a couple more years left on the X. Maybe something comes out in 2020. With the next Xbox, that's going to have physical media optical drive.
Right.
You've got another 7, 8 years with 10-year life cycle with that. Then the next one, they're going to do another 8. So then I would say the next 2 consoles, 100% for sure, will have a optical physical media drive on them.
There will be variants. There will be variants, but there will be variants.
I also find it to be maybe a little bit confusing for some people. You know what I mean? Like I think that's going to be could be a bit of a problem for them as well.
I have a question for Crap though. I mean, have you walked into Best Buy lately and seen?
I haven't gone inside a Best Buy
section has shrunk.
That's a good question, Clown.
I have not walked into a Best Buy in a long time. I buy CDs off Amazon when I do. You know what I mean? I don't really buy You
The crap, what he's trying to say is the CD section has dwindled into nothing.
There is.
Washers and dryers and Best Buy than CDs.
But here we are in 2018, and you can still buy them.
Listen, guys, there will be a variant. There will
there's record stores too, crap. I get what you're saying. You're talking about vintage. So you're talking about vintage shops.
Here's the thing, Mooch. I'm saying I bought a shit ton of 4K Blu-rays, Mooch.
Yes.
I did. So are you telling me that one of their big features, are they just going to strip that out of the future?
You hear what I said? They're not going to strip it out, but what they're going to do eventually is put it to the side, and you'll be able to buy, literally for like not a lot of money, $30-$40, an external where you'll plug it into your USB, and you'll be able to put the disc in, and it'll read it. And that's what you're going to do in the future.
Well, I'm not really, like all this, it's neither here nor there for me, right?
Crap, I just bought a PC, and we're looking at laptops. There's no CD drive, and I have CDs I want to use. They're like, no problem, sir. Buy this, and I have to buy an external.
Dude, I get you, right? But again, I'm the guy that buys that stuff still. You know what I mean? Like it's just who I am. It's just how as long as it's an option, I'll continue to support that option. You know? And that's fine. But what I'm saying to you is that like we do have to sit here and say that this is no longer pie in the sky stuff, crap. This isn't 2013. Well, anymore. This is we know where we're going. We know we're going digital. Everything you see it. You know, you're reading it. I don't have to tell you that. That's fine if you decide to be the consumer that still buys physical. What I'm saying is if you make that decision, you're also making a decision to have to impact your own lifestyle differently with external devices or other devices to be able to handle the lifestyle you chose to hold on to. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't say that like, no, physical is going to be here forever. No, it's not. I didn't say forever. I said I would bank on it for the next 20 years.
I would say possibly 10 at most.
Not only that, any physical media you buy is now prompting you. You insert your disc, and then it prompts you to accept a EULA agreement where you are just saying, hey, I agree to this digital media. It doesn't even matter.
This is the key.
Yes, it doesn't even matter anymore. The physical disc doesn't even matter. All it does is say, okay, I bought it. It's an extra step as opposed to just launching it directly if you buy the digital media.
Don't get me wrong. That's fine. But here's the thing, though, Knox. Here's the thing. I will agree with crap with this. If they're going to sell the disc, okay, if they're going to sell the disc, they've got to make sure that consumer is taken care of for quite some time, if not forever.
But they're not. They're not.
That's what I'm concerned about. Because we sit here and go, you buy it digitally, you don't even own it. Well, now here's a fear for you physical folks. You're buying physical, you don't own it. They may not help you like use that unit later if it's not a physical external device.
It's true.
And it is true.
You're signing a EULA agreement even with a physical
lot of our parents have a ton of records. Okay, mine being one. Lots of records. But now you got to go find a record player. You can't go to Best Buy and get one. You can't go to Microsoft.com.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you cannot go to Best Buy and record player.
You can go buy a record player at Best Buy.
Well, I've been in Best Buy so many times in the past few years. I almost lived there.
You can also get one at various other places too.
Yeah, eBay from a guy named Jones.
No, dude. Mooch, I will say, you go look it up right now. Go to bestbuy.com and look up record.
All right, I'm going to look it up right now. I'm actually very curious because I got a lot of records and they're just basically I'm using them as long coasters.
You have to decide. You have to decide on which kind you want because some of them can be rather expensive. But
I got some 45s.
Exactly. Yeah,
I got 45s, bro.
I've got a really nice one.
Clowns, you should know this. Clowns should already be on it. Clowns should have the website up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up to see if they sell record players as we speak.
They do.
I think you can't go into the store to buy.
So crap, as I type in record players into the search, it says record players with Bluetooth ? No, not with Bluetooth.
You can get one with Bluetooth.
That's hysterical, right?
That's amazing.
Oh my God! So here, innovative.
We've gone from an Xbox discless drive to record players.
Well, I'm just trying to say. So apparently there is a record player that you can still buy. Travis Seacham in the chat goes, "They do, Mooch." Let me tell you something. You should put that in all caps because everybody should be landing outside of their chair.
Exactly. Yeah, you can get them at Target and Walmart too. You can just get them. I know because I bought my my dad one. I think last year. Just went in there. It was like, hell yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. That's online, folks. I have never walked into a Best Buy and seen it.
I bought it. I'm just saying, but that just goes to show you that you can buy them. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, crap. It's fun, and it's great. Good for you to prove that you can buy. Guys, just so you know, at CrossFire, you learn something every day or every week. You can buy a record player. But my point is this. A lot of people right now are going, what the hell would I do with a record player? Because realistically, it's not. Yeah, but it's not what we do. It's not what we do. Crap, when was the last? Most people don't pull out a hand-turned can opener. You can buy those too, but people have an electronic one.
That's all I have.
Crap, you've got to move into 2018, please.
Hey, if I ever get to a point,
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Hey, if
I hand turn opener too, bro.
Exactly. If I ever get to the point where I can't fucking open a can with a regular can opener, then I don't know, man.
Well, you know what, Crab, you and Assassin could start a club together because he would be upset too if he lost the disc player because he's got a lot of 4K movies and he'd be really pissed off.
I do too.
My thing is it's cool. Guys, here's my argument with it. It's natural progression.
It is.
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
You know, I just want to say something too, because like, for example, my daughter, her generation, right? She's like 16. And everything that they use is digital on their phones, digital on Xbox, digital. Like 90% of everything digital. I'm like, do you want to go buy a movie? No, I'll just watch it on Netflix. Oh, you want to go to the movies later? No, I'll wait for it to come on Netflix. Yeah, that's her answer to everything.
Movies don't even come on Netflix though. That's the funny part.
But she'll wait. Her generation will wait.
What he's saying is they'll wait until it comes to their device. And I get what he's saying. I do. And that's why when we have these discussions, it's so funny. It's ironic to me. And don't get me wrong, Crap and a few people that I talk to are collectors. So I completely sympathize and agree with them doing their hobby. I think that's fantastic. But then when the conversation switches over to, well, no, we shouldn't go discless and we shouldn't go just digital because of what?
I'm not saying you shouldn't. Look, I use digital game. I'm just saying that when you sell people on backwards compatibility and taking your shit with you, you have to give them that option. You can't lie about it. Just that's my point.
That's fine. And don't get me wrong. And you know what? Listen, you can buy a record player, and guess what? 35 years from now, you're going to be able to buy an external drive, like I said earlier, and you'll be able to buy that, and you'll be able to play your physical disc. But let me tell you something. Don't think in 15 years you're going into Best Buy and buying the new Xbox, the new PlayStation, the new Google, whatever the hell's out.
Who knows even what's going to happen in 15 years, man? I just don't know. You know, like those places wouldn't even sell the new Xboxes at that point, would they?
Who knows? This is
what I'm saying.
But that who knows means that just kind of proves my point. We don't know.
Well, just look at this. Like I said, we know GameStop's not going to do a trade in your physical copy for a digital one. The way he made it sound was only at Microsoft Store. Who the hell has a Microsoft Store near them?
Nobody.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, so like 40 minutes away. Right now, GameStop is giving you literally they're giving you like a quarter and a root beer for your trade-in of games. They're not giving you anything anymore. The trade-in values drop like a lead balloon.
What I'm just saying is
because there's no one buying physical anymore.
That's not true because they're still selling physical.
But they're hurting. They are hurting.
I understand, but I'm just saying the physical is still outselling the digital right now.
By fractions.
Well, it depends on what you consider fractions.
Crap,
I mean,
you've got 250 stores a year closing at GameStop. They're closing. They're not doing game in Europe is doing awful.
There's more stores than just GameStop.
Crap, you also got to factor in the sales, like the clearance bins. Those count as physical sales. So like my Walmart every year clearance out a whole bunch of physical games. I can get them for like $5-10 a pop.
What's that have to do with selling physical versus digital?
Yeah, but
physical also has sales too. So
yeah,
same thing.
Well, the thing is, like right now, you can go on Xbox and buy 100 games for $100.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's Black Friday, but like I mean, I can go any one of my stores around here, go to Cheap Ass Gamer, and then find out who's got a good deal where I can flip what. And I'm buying physical discs to flip them constantly. Physical flip, and I'm getting like I pay $5 a disc. I'm flipping for like $45-50.
Where?
If you follow Cheap Ass Gamer,
right? Xbox that's the New York way. Who? What?
Yeah. You need to put me on. Dog.
When Walmart does their clearance bins, right? And they do it like maybe twice a year. Usually my Walmart does. But if you go to like Cheap Ass Gamer and other sites like that, they'll tell you which titles are being clearanced out, and even like a brick and mortar searcher. And then you can go on their website and see the GameStop flips. Or the Walmart trading flips.
Well, like crap, so that's a great business venture, but I don't see what that has to do with the.
But it's my title, right? Yeah, it's my title, right? Like they have a preference.
I don't know. Myself personally, I just think this. When it comes down to it, I actually want to say bravo to Xbox for doing this. If they do this, it's rumor. But go ahead.
I think the whole thing with this is price point. All right. I have a feeling that is what they're gonna gauge to see. They're gonna come out with what they think is a good price point for an Xbox One S, without a disc tray or whatnot.
Well, here's the thing: how much cheaper are they going to get this thing out? You can already sell the S for $199.
Yeah, and the whole point of this is to sell an Xbox SKU for $199, and like they kind of already have that with the S. I think these two S revisions they're doing next year are a little bit out of the blue and almost pointless. Like, you have the X, which is the world's most powerful console. You have the S. Both are selling incredibly well. I just don't see why they couldn't continue with those leading into the Scarlett family.
Alan, can I throw this at you? And I want to hear your opinion, Alan. What I said earlier is what I'll say again. I think it's Microsoft testing the waters without getting their hand bit. They're saying,
of course,
here's an idea that we want to do. Imagine if it sells huge. Imagine if it sells huge.
It's funny because I always kind of thought that for Scarlett, they could always do one that has a disc drive, one that doesn't. They could always do that.
Well, we always say that, but when you do that with a new console, you get a lot of backlash. If you do it at this point,
I know.
And Delilah says they're trying to get it down to 149. So you get a 149S, and imagine this, guys. Crap, we were talking about this. If the X goes from $499 to $399 this holiday, but they're able to take the disc drive out next holiday, and now you're talking about $350 or $300 for an X.
Nobody's going to care because you're talking about when the next consoles are already out. It's like the S is also.
Next consoles are coming out the year after that.
Well, 2020. So you're talking about
that's like next year.
Yeah, but no, it's a fool's errand to buy one of those at that point. You know what I mean? It's like those.
I don't buy that for a
dollar. Look, the S by itself.
The PS3 sold like gangbusters before the next generation came out. I'm not buying that.
The PS3 had exclusive after exclusive. People wanted to buy it because
the Xbox. They got Gears of War 5 coming out next year.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
Yeah, but I mean that's the heyday for that, right? But for I'm just saying,
not buying
that the S by right now with the 4K Blu-ray should be $149. I'm just saying they like.
I'm not gonna argue with you there.
Look, the disc drive cost them $15, probably in bulk, $10, $12.
Yeah, 50. I would say $15. I mean, who knows? That's not fair for me to say.
Yeah, like how, like I don't like. To me, like I think Brad Sams is a cool guy. He's been on this show before. Yeah. I just think this is something that's never going to see the light of day. It makes no sense for the S to be the one either. I'm just being honest.
Imagine if they're trying.
I was thinking it would be the X as well.
What if they're trying to make the S this like the media device? It's your Netflix.
Well, aren't they coming out with a streaming thing that's supposed to do that?
That's what I'm saying. It's conflicting. I said that earlier. It's conflicting.
If they want to make the S a proper media device, the Xbox One needs a lot of work on entertainment features because it was actually really solid in 2013 for entertainment, but it doesn't hold up anymore. They have a lot of work they need to do to catch up with the likes of Apple TV.
Oh yeah.
Why are they going to compete with Apple TV though?
They should. They did a great job competing in the 360 generation.
But Alan, that bit them in the ass. That bit them in the ass in 2013. Like, what they need to do is, if you want to release a discless Xbox, go ahead and do it. That is like maybe a shade, like in between the S and the X. I guess I don't know how you'll be able to do it. For like $200?
No, it'd be cheap. It'd be cheaper than the S, and it wouldn't be any different as far as power. What I think this really is think about it, guys. Crap, you said it yourself. $15-20 cheaper, right? Whatever it is to take that drive out. But it puts a price point lower, and maybe it hits a whole nother crop of customers that normally weren't going to buy it, and it becomes a media device for their bedroom
but
or
again,
their
that was the
entertainment
whole
room.
Tagline for this streaming deal.
I gotta go with crap on this. Like, the thing is,
it doesn't make sense.
It's a good idea, but if you're coming out with a streaming box that's gonna be smaller,
that's the
when
difference.
The Scarlett comes out, it's gonna be more convenient,
right?
And, no disc drive and stuff like that. Then you do have to scratch your head and be like, if this is true.
So
why?
Let's say they're just feeling the market and they see people are buying it. All of a sudden, the Scarlett comes out. And the Scarlett with the traditional drive in it, is $499, and then the discless one is $450, maybe a little less. they could have 2 SKUs, and it doesn't cost them. It doesn't really change much on the design at all.
I think the xCloud, the streaming box, it's not going to have a disc.
No, it's not.
Yeah, why would it?
Streaming one definitely won't have a disc. You wouldn't expect that.
The discless one has to be $100 cheaper.
Yo, what about
$50. Not just
what
$50.
about
Yeah,
what about this, guys? What about this?
Yeah.
This? They're throwing this out there, right? To try to get testing on having that digital media possibly put in the streaming service as well. And maybe they're testing stuff out for when the cloud system does come out, the smaller box, and whoever gets it, they can just kind of like analyze kind of like their whole data and what they're using and all that good stuff. I mean it's a possibility. Other than that, man, I gotta roll with crap. Like it doesn't make sense if they're coming out with a streaming box in 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, and Crap's point holds water to a certain extent. I do. I just thought they were feeling the water. They're feeling the water. They're treading water right now. They're saying, hey, right now, this doesn't cost us anything. And guess what? Let's say the discless Xbox doesn't do well. The media's not going to attack them for it. There's no harm, no foul. All they get to do is bona fide research. And if they see that it does do well, now that's a horse of a different color.
But see, Mooch, here's the thing with what we said from Sony and E3 and us moving into a year where they're going to start talking about new hardware and everything like that. I think Xbox, they really need to think about how they're approaching everything right now, because they have a golden goose on a silver platter right now when it comes to Sony not showing up at E3. And I really think they might want to streamline their thoughts and their process moving forward to really blow something out of the water this year. And I don't think a 1S, a discless 1S would be that, man.
So hear me out, and you guys can go all, I know I got a lot of Apple haters on the panel, that's fine. But Apple went and they did their
but
show.
I'll still hear you though.
They did their show. I appreciate that. They did their show, and they came out with their iPhone X, their iPhone XS, and they had the iPhone X Max. And then they had the iPhone XR. And same thing could be said if we were all doing a phone podcast instead of a game podcast. Why would they do something like that?
Happen.
Right? Exactly. They had a cheaper version of their phone. Instead of the OLED, they have an LCD. It came in only one size. You couldn't choose. And my point being is, it's going to sell like gangbusters.
You know why?
And they didn't need to do that. They didn't need it. But here's the thing. They test the waters. And so be it. The XR is going to sell like hotcakes.
I got your answer here, though. People are already used to that in that industry. They're already used to multiple.
Now, Xbot, hold it. I got to stop you right there. This generation has changed all the way we've thought about gaming. So you can't tell me that now we're not going to stop changing the way the idea that an Xbox came with the PC on day one.
Dude, how did cell phones do it though? They did it
gradually, and so is the gaming industry.
No, and I feel that if this is what's going on with Xbox right now, like we said, with new hardware right around the corner and everything like that, I think instead of dipping their toe in, they're getting ready to dive off the diving board, which you might not want to do right now.
Xbox games are day and date with PC. You've got a thing called Game Pass, which puts all the games in the world day and date for $10.
I love Game Pass.
You can't get more radical than we've gotten in the past 3 years.
Yeah, it has been a crazy generation.
Doing a discless console is the least of your fucking differential.
No, check this out. With the gaming community, all right, you can test out new features and all that good stuff. You start messing with the hardware, that's when you get the backlash.
There's no messing. Man. It's an option. You can go buy the other one. It's right next
remember
to this
2013, always online.
Not only that, Xbox, but we got Xbox Access now. For 35 yuccas a month. You can get yourself an X.
Yuckers.
Yes, yuccas.
I like that.
All right, the yuccas, balls, beans, whatever you want to call it. For $35 a month, you guys can go and get yourself an X with Game Pass, with Xbox Live.
Yeah, nobody even talks about that. You're right.
I was going to say, they should hire you because you're the only person that said that in months.
We haven't brought that up in ages.
But it's a thing. It's a thing that they are truly embracing big time. And why wouldn't they?
How are they embracing it if they're not telling people it still exists?
Well, I said this on Xbox Nation, and I got put into the corner. Xbox. I'll tell you how. Anything.
I'll tell you how. Hold on, but because it exists, because it still happens. It is a thing, my dude. Like,
you know, it existed for a long time. My Zune did, and they didn't back that shit either.
And, Zune. And Zune was pretty dope. I'm not even.
I had the HD version, the nice thin one. Man, that thing was hot.
All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is that shit is a brilliant budget thing. If people
guess what, Knox, guess what? It's called advertising. For some reason,
remember
it's brilliant. They got to talk about
groove music.
Right, groove.
Hey guys, remember Windows phones?
Yeah,
remember Windows.
It's crazy how many Microsoft products I own that have now been discontinued. Like I was on board with Windows Phone, with Groove Music, with all that stuff.
The only difference, guys, with this is that this is actually worth your money. If
don't say that. I'm a big Windows Phone. That's still my favorite phone all time.
You know what? I'll be honest. When I switched to iPhone X, I never looked back at Windows Phone.
Oh! Alan Walsh, everybody!
You just earned some points right there, brother.
I'd like to give Alan Walsh the award for tonight.
Did you pick up an Android phone yet?
You guys show me where you could get that new iPhone X or whatever for $35 a month for 2 years, and then I'm with you. But you could do it.
It's about $50 a month, but you can do it now.
Exactly. You could do it for $35 with Xbox Game Pass, Xbox One X. Good money.
Good point. This is my problem, and I didn't even have it on the topics list, but you guys in the audience know about it too. Like, we don't see any advertising.
No, that's the one thing that they failed to do is the advertising.
Well,
Microsoft sucks balls.
He chimed in.
There he is.
I've been chiming in. It's just I've been overpowered by everybody because.
Well, that's Crossfire glitch. I apologize in advance.
Oh no, it's like, hey, I mean, there's been some heated debates going on, so and it's like I would say something, but it would be like then you would hear Mooch, it's great, and it's like, all right, it's great.
That's pretty good, Glitch. That's pretty good. No, I mean, Glitch, go ahead and speak your mind. I said it on Xbox Nation, and I'll say it again. I think that Game Pass is fantastic. Don't hear about it. I think that what Knox is talking about. We don't hear about it in all access.
It's always been Microsoft's biggest problem. And the thing is, too, like, I watch TV, I watch YouTube, I look at all
What's
forms
TV, Glitch? Because apparently people that live in warm climates don't anymore.
But it's like, I rarely see ads I see more ads for Sony shit than I do Xbox.
Yes.
Like, if it wasn't for Knox bringing up that $35
completely forgot about it.
I did too.
Boom, totally gone. And it was like when it was first brought up, you know, I was telling my brother, I was like, dude, you got to get up on this. He's like, hell yeah. And then after that, that was the last time we talked about it. I heard about it, and then he just brought it up. They need to step up their advertising big time, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's where they lack. I mean, when the Xbox One X was coming out, if it wasn't for us, little Bobby Joe son of a bitch walking into GameStop ain't gonna know what the hell it is. He's just gonna see that and be like, oh, it's an Xbox, and he's not gonna know. He's not gonna be tugging on mama's shirt. Hey, mom, I need that. We're the ones talking about it. You know, we're the ones talking about Game Pass. We're the ones talking about the $35 months that get you a fucking Xbox One X, the most powerful console out there. But Microsoft needs to do their job as well by advertising.
So shout out to Timothy Weekly, who always comes to the show. He goes, Mooch yells at crap about physical, yet he still watches TV. Timothy, when did you invent the flux capacitor last week? We're all watching TV. What do you think? The NFL's the #1 watch show on. Who's watching the NFL anywhere but on their television set? TV is still dominant, and I understand all you guys that live in California that have rooftop parties, but all of us in New York, it just snowed in New York yesterday. It's fucking freezing here, and we don't hang out on the roof. Okay?
Did you bring your
Switch?
TV.
Yo, can I just say something real quick? All the Sony extremists out there who constantly say, hey, this is a great idea and all this stuff, no matter how anti-gamer it is, This is how true gamers talk about their preferred system. They're not all 100% correct.
That's right.
There's things that we can critique. There's things that we go in and say they need to do better. I think the other side really needs to start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. You know,
Good point,
Mooch,
Xbox.
you know, Mooch, the lack of advertising, that isn't just a problem in the US. It's also the same thing in Europe. Every time I watch TV, every time there's an ad break, I see the same PS4 Pro ad. They promote it as the best console on the market. They promote it as the best-selling console on the market. The latest one is a tie-in with Red Dead Redemption 2 because they got the marketing rights.
Yep.
So they say, play Red Dead Redemption 2 on the best console on the market, PS4 Pro, and play it. And they do say it in native 4K. They do say it's in 4K. We know it's not in native 4K, but they say it, and no one's going to question it because it's the only ad that's on TV for that game.
Right.
So anytime you see Red Dead Redemption 2 on TV, at least over here,
Alan,
it comes with a huge PS4
Alan,
Pro
I have
promotion.
a bunch of my friends that are completely casuals. They have no idea what, if they're listening to this show, they'd be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? They don't even know what they're, right? But we know what they said to me. They're like, hey, I'm going to go get Red Dead. They're like, is that all, do I need a PlayStation for that? And I'm like, no. They don't know because it's in their face all day that it's only PlayStation. That's why they pay the $50 million for the marketing rights.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
worth it.
Yep,
don't know what we know. That's why when people are like, this is my opinion. That's great, but you have to, and I try to do this. I try to go, this is my opinion, but this is what the masses are thinking. And the masses are still thinking Sony because they use TV. For some reason, Sony's still figuring out that people watch TV. Comcast, Verizon, Spectrum, the biggest companies on the market, okay, in respect to them. And then people are like, oh, no, nobody watches TV, Mooch. Why? Because you rollerblade to work? Well, we don't.
Hey, you know what? People always criticize Xbox for focusing on TV in 2013.
Right.
They had a bloody reason to focus on it. They had. It's a huge market. The amount of 360s they sold that not a single game was played on that were used for the entertainment features is unbelievable.
Yes.
Like we have an Xbox One set up in our house that's just used for TV. We have an Xbox One S set up in our house that's just used for TV.
So do I.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, they have PlayStation commercials going on right now with a bunch of people in a tent watching was it PlayStation View, the cable service, like through PlayStation or whatnot. So please do not tell me that there's no focus on TV and entertainment, and like it's an everything piece of hardware. That's exactly what our video game systems have become, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Well, shout out to Vic Vinegar in the chat. He goes, this guy's trying way too hard. Chill, bro. I would like to welcome Vic to his first Crossfire appearance.
I know, right?
Vic, welcome to the show, buddy. That's what separates Crossfire from all
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Hit the thumbs up button
and join us.
Yeah.
Like and share and
you know, listen, we're getting real close to the 2-hour mark. I'm going to talk about this real and short because it's in the headliner. Mooch is going ahead and diving in head first on Fallout 76 starting tomorrow morning. It's gotten some negative reviews from people that are like, it's garbage, it's trash, it's nasty, it's this, it's that. Myself personally, I have never been able to get into the Fallout, not because I didn't want to, but I never got into the Fallout series because I just never had the opportunity. And Crap and I always talk about this. We love multiplayer. We love the multiplayer space. To be able to play this game, and enjoy the environment with friends, it sounds ideal. It really does. It sounds ideal. So myself personally, I don't know. I've watched a lot of video on it. I've watched people that don't like it. I've watched people that love it. So I'm very, very fair still. I'm going into it. And I'm going to go in with a kind of a blank mind, make my create my character, and go into the world. See you on Destiny
tomorrow.
Of course, I'll still be. Me and Knox are talking about that. I'll still be on Destiny, of course. But I'm saying to you guys, I'm going in. Is anybody Crap? I know you said you've gotten Mooch as well. Is anybody else on the panel going to take the dive and at least try the Wasteland and enjoy Fallout? And you guys have to understand.
I am.
Bethesda has a lot of thank you, Glitch. And I saw you on Twitter. Bethesda has a lot of faith and love into this franchise. To sit there and think that they're not going to help this game along the way like they did with Fallout 4, it's kind of asinine. You know they're going to do that. I think this game's going to be a lot of fun. I think if you have a crew together, it can be a lot of fun. And if you don't like Destiny and you don't like how Destiny has the progression where if you get left behind, this game doesn't do that to you. So I think this is a game for a lot of people that want to join an ever-evolving world without feeling like you've been left out because you didn't play it every day. What do you guys think about this?
Mooch, can I come first, man?
Yeah, please, Knox, go.
All right, well, check it out, right? Like, this is the thing with me. Oblivion, right? Elder Scrolls Oblivion, it launched on the 360, right?
Yeah.
On March 20th, right? Of 2006.
Yes, it was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's what Fallout 76 Vaults, whatever, looks like. Just like that.
Okay.
And because of that, and those limitations, like, it's, yes, I know what they're capable of, and I want to really embrace that universe. I really do.
Yeah.
But I can't. It's so dated for our hardware, for what we have right now. I expect more. I expect that Wolfenstein. you know, nice. Yes, I want that package. You know what I mean? Like, that's that. I know that Doom. Those are Bethesda games that are sick. They are hot games to play, and I know they're capable.
Do you remember, Knox? Do you remember when Fallout 4 got its enhancement and how great it was? I'm not saying that people should go buy $60 worth of Fallout 76 right now. I'm in a lucky situation. I had gotten the code. But realistically, I would say to people, maybe this isn't your bag right now, but if it's a world you like to be in, Knox, the Fallout 4 update that came with the X is unbelievable. I think that they're going to add to this. I think the game will eventually be. So I don't think this is a game you need to hold to aesthetics, though.
It's that the update was great. It's that the engine is dated.
And it is.
And Bethesda knows this, and I can't. That restricted FOV where it almost feels like I'm almost blind. I got no peripheral vision. I can't deal with it. I can't.
Well, I'm looking forward to next week's podcast because I'm going to play a lot of Fallout in the next 2 days, and I don't know. And I hope Crap joins me. I like the game. I like the world. As a matter of fact, with the Black Friday deal, which we didn't get enough time to talk about because we're creeping on the 9 o'clock hour here in New York. I'm buying Fallout 4 for $15 because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Crap, you'll be interested to hear this. Fallout 4 is no longer available for Game Pass. It's not in Game Pass anymore, folks.
Microsoft always screwing the fan.
Did it to us again?
Wow,
right when I turn around.
Get those pitchforks. Here we go.
So I'm buying it for $15 because it is what it is. But I think if you enjoy the Fallout world and you like the Wasteland, I think it's something you should check out. And I think it's an investment because I think the game will always get the TLC from Bethesda. Because you know what, Knox? It is their baby. Now, Glitch, what do you think about this, Glitch? Because you've been on the pro. You've been on the one of the only people I've seen come out and fight for it.
I mean, I know the engine's dated, and that I get everybody's bitch about it, but you know
I
what?
do too.
The game looks fun. You get to play Fallout 4, but multiplayer version. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm definitely going to try and pick this up tomorrow so I can mess around with it. So maybe me and you can jump on
Absolutely,
it.
Glitch.
I want to play the game. It looks fun as hell. And plus you get to nuke the hell out of people. How cool is that? I
love the idea that you go out there in this post-apocalyptic world that they made and you have your team and you go out there, you try to make this village, this community, and then you have other people that you may make friends with or you don't. Or it's very much like a Walking Dead. You guys know I'm a big fan of Walking Dead, right? So you've got Hilltop, you got Alexandria. They couldn't stand the Saviors, and so here you go, and you're playing in this world, and all of a sudden, me, Crap, Glitcher, Knox, Gadang, and these guys were all kind of playing, and all of a sudden we have this world that we've built, and now maybe some people are like, "Hey, we have stuff we can bring to you," or we have stuff that you find another group of people that want to attack you and take your stuff, and it's that world. That to me is enlightening. If it works, that's yet to be displayed to me. I haven't played it yet. It just came out this week, and I'm getting to it tomorrow. But realistically, I am doing a Fallout 76 initial thoughts. Crap, I've told Crap, and I promised Crap for 2 years. I'm getting my first thoughts. I'm making my own video. I got the software now. We're doing all this stuff on the PC. So we're trying it out. I'm very excited to try this game. And I'll get my initial thoughts out this week on it. We are approaching the 9 o'clock hour. I'm sure Crap sent me a message of some sort. There it is. Yes, it is. There it is. That is an outstanding gift, by the way. Let's go through our great panel here tonight. What a heated and logical and fun discussion to go through with some great gamers. I'll go in reverse order. Let me start with Knox. Knox, welcome to Crossfire. I think you did very well. You had a lot of fun. Your opinions were noted. And let everybody know where they can find you this week.
Well, man, hey, man, I'm glad to be here. If my opinions were noted, that's awesome. You know, I mean, I just had a lot of fun with you guys, man. This is awesome for me. I'm still acting like a little schoolgirl.
Great show.
But yeah, it really was. Always is, but really was a great subject matter, great panel. You guys can find me on In Knox We Trust right here on YouTube, at D Knox on Twitter, on the next podcast tomorrow, 7 p.m. Xbox 44H channel. And yo, it was awesome, man. I loved it, man. Good shit, guys.
Awesome, Knox. And we'll definitely have you back on in the future, buddy. We truly appreciate it. And then I've got my buddy Glitcher. Glitcher, you know what, Glitch? Me and you've been trying to link up for weeks. Yeah. But it worked out tonight, and it's been outstanding to have you on. Buddy, let people know where they can find you.
It's been a blast, man. Y'all can find me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher. You can find me on Xbox at Attack Glitcher. You can check out my YouTube channel, Attack the Glitcher, where I host my own podcast, the Game Dosage podcast. And right now we have a console giveaway going on. All you got to do is just watch it. And once we get up to 300 live views, we give out a console. That's it. So, but that's all I got, guys. Hey, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Oh, yeah.
Listen, Glitcher, let me just go ahead and promote you a little bit more. For all you mooches in training out there, he's giving away a console if we get to 300. That means if you're listening to the show, I would tune into his show, grab your friends, go watch it, and earn yourself a console. Glitcher, great work, buddy. Always appreciate to have you on. And then I've got my buddy Clowns, who I know right now the only time he was silent was because he was actually making a pizza dough. Clowns.
He's playing Battlefield.
No, absolutely not.
Where can people find you, brother? That was great, Xbox.
Every Thursday, I think it's like at 5 p.m. now Eastern. We do 4 Guys with Quarters. It changes like weekly 5:30. Some weeks are off.
It's life.
Yeah, it is life. But yeah, you can catch us there. And me and Assassin are both now Twitch affiliates, so you can catch us on Twitch as well. And always a pleasure being here, Mooch. Hopefully next time we get some calzones.
Absolutely. You kidding me? Double marinara for me, please. And I got my buddy from Ireland. He's up for you guys. Alan, awesome to get your insight on not only the Forza stuff, not only the Gaming Awards stuff, but the E3 stuff. It was huge. Love to have you. Let people know where they can find the information that you've been putting out that's absolutely Pulitzer.
I got to say, this could potentially be my favorite episode of Crossfire.
It was awesome.
It was on fire. The whole 2 hours, just absolutely fantastic. Great, as always. Yeah, you can find me. Social media is at Beetle Comet. The website's fullthrottlemedia.co.uk, and we got some really good stuff on there recently. We had the Aaron Greenberg interview from the Horizon 4 launch event at Goodwood. Also did one with Ralph Fulton. And we have a breakdown, of course, of the Forza Horizon 4 Fortune Island expansion coming next month. So good stuff.
Great stuff, Alan. Thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate it. And then I got Xbot 448, who sometimes gets confused with 844. Xbot, you have a huge show tomorrow. Let people know about it, please.
Dude, speaking about 448, I just recently hit 3,448 subscribers on my channel. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, we are doing the next podcast tomorrow. It is gonna be a fire show. We got K Mega, Predator, Noximus, of course myself, and we are going in on all the news that happened throughout the
Vote for Pred.
Oh my goodness, already? I didn't even say anything about the gameplay. Yes, we have gameplay that you get to vote for. I know everybody's going to vote for me. I got some fire gameplay going on for tomorrow. But tune in, check it out, and then afterwards you go to my Twitter and you can vote for who had the best gameplay. And of course, Xbot 448. There we go. There we go.
Xbot, I love the show. Love next podcast. Always refreshing. So much fun to listen to on a Saturday night. Like, you guys own the airwaves. And I want to start a hashtag We Want Mel. I think Mel's got to do a cameo once and again. It's always good to have Mel on with
every
you guys.
time she comes in, man, I swear, everybody just realizes that she's back on the show for that night. Everybody floods into the chat.
Dude, it's great to get Mel's opinion on games. It's always fun.
Yeah, she keeps us in our place, is what she does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So great, Xbox. Thanks for being here tonight. And then I've got my co-host on the MNC show. We've got new things cooking. Crap Gamer. Crap, where can people find you this weekend?
Crap Gamer reviews. We're gonna be doing the MNC show Sunday, so check it out.
Yes, 11 a.m. on Crap Gamer Reviews channel. Guys, check it out. We got a lot to talk about. You love me and Crap's debate tonight. Just wait till Sunday morning. It's even more heated when we have a lot of caffeine in us. Listen, going to be a great show. Great show tonight. Amazing panel. I had a lot of fun tonight. I got to agree with Alan. Just one of those nights where you go back and you go, I almost want to go back and listen to the show again. It was that damn good. We're going to be doing CrossFire 7 p.m. Eastern time next week. We'll catch you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Game on. Try out a Fallout. Don't listen to the internet. Can't be that bad, right? We'll
Don't forget to buy your record players at Best Buy, right?
Yes, that's right. $79.99 with a Bluetooth accessory. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.
Peace.